Alright guys, grand final time. We're heading into the grand final, a best of 7, and since Team QuackNiix came in from the winner bracket, they have a 1-0 lead in the best of 7. Going up against Team Hasu, who fought their way through the lower bracket. And honestly, with Hasu and all of these OP plays, I couldn't handle it alone anymore. I needed some reinforcements, so I brought in the one and only newcoming caster, Trickslayer. And yeah, welcome to the stream, my friend.
I've upgraded from newcomer. I am now a washed-up caster. Thank you very much.
Okay.
My heyday is way behind me, and now you just get my raw thoughts as I throw him out there as we get a Deathwing ban, because he's the best character in the game now.
Yeah, and a Lucio ban on top of that too, so mostly because of the speed up here. But Quack is usually there with the HTC calls. Like, this team definitely found their stride now. But at this point, honestly, what really dominates currently in this thing is Bloodlust Rhaegar, Sanctification Tyrael, and Greymane. 100% Hasu's team is picking some of this away. Like, I don't see them letting both of them go through right now. That combo has been crazy in this tournament.
Wait, excuse me, real quick here. Did you just say Rhaegar Bloodlust is the hot now? Have I been away from this game way too long? Everything. I remember 4 years ago, hey Khaldor, let's do a Bloodlust Rhaegar, and then you stopped queuing with me. You looked me in the eye and you said, "We're not running Bloodlust Rhaegar. Pick Ancestral, or I won't play with you again."
No. That was your Brightwing stuff.
Oh yeah, memory messed up. That was my Brightwing. That actually did happen.
Yeah, that actually happened exactly. No, but
real talk, it's good.
Yeah, dude, we had Rhaegar in every single game, either picked or banned, and not a single time did we see Ancestral. After the buff to Bloodlust, it's all Bloodlust. And look, wow. Greymane and Tyrael are both picked away. The combo is insane right now. You Sanct, you Bloodlust, and then Greymane rips them apart. It's actually a thing.
Incredible. I am so excited to hopefully get that combination here. Am I allowed to start, like, theory crafting? Can we get Artanis Rhaegar Tyrael? Is that a thing?
You know, you actually distracted me, and I'm ending up with the same situation that I had previously. These fuckers don't respect the bracket order, so now they have on the wrong sides again, so I have to switch them over. And usually I catch it these days, but you distracted me. You know, I'm so happy that I finally casting with you again, so, but yeah, I gotta blame you.
You want to know how I know Khaldor's still a MOBA caster? He just blamed me, and he blamed the players for him having a production issue. MOBA caster, over here.
Wait a second. I gotta defend myself real quickly. Usually when you look at a bracket, it's always the top team in the bracket part goes to the left, the bottom to the right. We've done this now for 1.5 years after HGC. Their fault. Okay, yeah. I blame them.
You warranted here. Junkrat ban. Ooh, so Junkrat's still being played. Good. Because over here in North America, normally, I never see Junkrat anymore, and it makes me sad.
Oh, no.
Like he's a major threat.
A lot. And after the last series, look at the Medivh ban. That doesn't come as a surprise either. I mean, seriously, what Hasu pulled off with Medivh in the loser bracket final. Holy cow.
Okay, so now we got our Tyrael Greymane. We're going to be needing a side laner with some wave clear, but for the most part, this dive is looking pretty strong. Are we going to get any mage gameplay? Do we get any Li Ming or anything with this? We sure do. Okay, I still got it.
Whitemane, that's a first for the tournament here. I was actually for the side laner. They played the last time on this map, Dehaka. So Quack, in typical fashion, still goes for drafts that you would expect from him. Trying to get some macro games out, good rotations. And this is a map that was actually banned against him several times, because here he can shot call way more, you know, with like going for bosses, going for tributes, where do you rotate. So it's super powerful right now.
And Maiev and a Rexar answer back, coming out here for the left side. Okay, so they got their own containment. They got their own strength, not containment and heroic, but they got their own abilities to kind of lock down that full-on engage coming their way. As you mentioned, Greymane Tyrael being quite a threat. Getting some kind of CC and slowing that down is always a good pickup in draft, and Maiev and Rexar certainly give that.
Yeah. On the other hand, the Whitemane is very interesting, because so far we have not seen them play that hero. But there's the last pick. We're going to go into Blaze, so the good old layered protection with the Sanctification and the Bunker. So guys, let's jump in. Cursed Hollow, map number 1. Again, best of 7 series, but since we are coming from the winner bracket on the side of Team QuackNiix, they get the 1-0 lead. This is still the first map, so let's jump in straight away. Cursed Hollow, map number 1. Game on, everybody! Game number 1, Team HasuObs against Team QuackNiix, and to the left side, the Germans, this time without the tank. X-Ray on ETC, HasuObs on Jimmy, Banana H on Rhaegar, Max Passion on Rexa, Ultralisk on Maiev. And Team QuackNiix, so far it has been ducking journey for them. Abla on Blaze, Yasuo on Whitemane, Skog on Tyrael, we have Swamp, Grotta on Liming, and QuackNiix himself for like the 10th time in this tournament on Greatmane. Nothing's changed him, nothing. Actually, a lot changed. Exterminator on Jimmy on level 1, what they do we live in.
Wait, this ETC better be careful. Okay. Wow, interesting. They're actually spreading out pretty nicely as you see a big concave coming in here for the blue team. Realizing there is some threat on the opponent's side of getting a quick kill if this Maiev can't find a combination, but I do love the wave clear coming in from QuackNiix. He goes in, there's the tether, there's the power slide. QuackNiix locked down, but able to sneak away.
Yeah, they made great calls so far throughout the entire tournament. Had really crisp rotations, and in some of the games went for pretty solid kill comms. Stuff where they just simply YOLO'd out a Blessed Shield on Johanna and followed up with incredible quick damage. And I'm really looking forward to this, because so far both of these teams have played a fantastic tournament. Hasu dominating through the loser bracket, for example. And he himself can, of course, with Exterminator as a level 1 choice, now really dominate on the boss fights too. So whenever they are able to get on one of the bosses, he's gonna get the damage out to get this done as quickly as possible. And, I mean, that could really give them a lot of control over the map, because usually it's Quack who's trying to get that for his team.
For the people at home that may have not been watching this entire tournament and might be just jumping in, oh, it's a nice little grand finals. How would you describe each team? If you look at HasuObs' team, what is their strength and what is the strength of QuackNiix crew? I
mean, for Quack, it's honestly, at this point, initially it was only the macro game, and they were a little bit suffering in the team fights, and then they started during this tournament to really pretty quick pick up on very quick execution as well. So generally speaking, I think it's once more the shot calling that really just stands out on their end side. The drafting, the shot calling, and just the overall strategy. So that, as usual, characterizes QuackNix's teams, but they are also doing way, way better now in the communication and coordination between team members, which initially in the group stage was sometimes a little bit of a problem, but they really smoothed that out. When you talk about Hasu on the other side, I mean, they are pretty disciplined in the plays that they make here. And you kind of expect that from a team that has multiple Germans on their side. So Hasu, of course, has the backbone for them, but they're also pretty flexible in the way that they play. Banana H is insane on supports just in general. If he gets his Ana, he's just brutalizing them. Ultralisk plays a couple of mean heroes and has good overlap also with HasuObs himself. And X-Ray, traditionally support player, has really, really surprised me as a tank in this one. I mean, I don't really know why he's not playing tank all the time, because he had crazy games, but they locked in 2 support players when Hasu drafted the team, and they just play beautiful even in the off-roll.
Oh my gosh, this macro play, but also this micro play coming in here. You're talking about that power slide. X-Ray able to find QuackNiix to get him low on health. But the biggest win here for the blue team, Team HasuObs, is they have the blue Mercamp pushing in the middle lane with that spell armor. Getting lane priority on top of a tribute phase is one of the best things you can do in Heroes of the Storm. And so far, HasuObs and crew have handled it perfectly. 4 are in the middle, doing their best to defend the spell armor, while on the top, the tribute is starting to be grabbed by Rexar.
Yeah, and he locks it in. So the first one already for Team Hasu. And the interesting part is really that the teams have started to very much so respect those towers and those forts. Because initially when the change came through yesterday in the first games, you saw a lot of them start diving into towers regardless, trying to get the quick kill in. But everybody is respecting how much damage these things do after a few shots and the armor reduction. But Quack overstaying a little bit and nearly paying the price here at the bottom as they were trying to take one of the towers down.
Dude, this Maiev from Ultralisk is really paying off so far. Every time Quack goes in, Maiev comes in from the side. She's always watching for those flanks. And you were talking about those towers and how strong they are right now. Maiev with that tether makes it hard for you to keep pushing in. The moment you take turret aggro and your armor is reduced, Ultralisk moves in, grabs the tether, and pulls you in for a couple of shots. And there goes your health bar.
Yeah, they're actually playing a pretty aggressive game. I mean, we're already on level 7 for the 2. We don't see any kills, but there were multiple skirmishes already. Now
again, Ultralisk.
Huh?
Oh, just again, Ultralisk just he's got QuackNiix's number right now. Whitemane had to use cleanse right away.
Yeah, top side now with the spawn towards the left also. That should be another tribute actually for Team HasuObs. And we had 4 minutes in, 4.5, so bosses are up in 30 seconds. That could actually give Hasu with his Jimmy an opportunity with Exterminator. But first of all, Misha's in trouble. QuackNiix taking her down. There's the slide again as they're trying to open up an opportunity with ETC. And immediately Quack and his boys turning on the cow.
Yep, the bear is down, the cow almost, but the cow's trying to get away, slithering out of the fight. HasuObs steps up for some auto attacks, while Rexar comes in from the flank, being chased down ETC, which allowed for Maiev to move in, get a tether. There's a fan of knives, and that's going to be a pick when the bear comes back.
Most of the focus is really on Maiev right now, and Hasu takes full advantage of that from the backline with one auto attack after another. Another tether attempt going in again with a big boy cleave, nearly taking the second kill. And holy shit, there's so much going on right now. The power slide from ETC, Misha coming in with a stun attempt, and behind all of that, the tethers and just simply all that AoE damage is now also coming out of Maiev, who has 19,000 damage already. I mean, that's pretty much twice the damage that we see on the other side's Greymane.
Well, things will get better for QuackNiix and the boys as we get to the level 10. You got the bunker, you got the Sandification coming off there. As soon as they're able to get that invulnerability and focus the target, they'll be great. But for now, the CC train is just too heavily in the favor of Team HasuObs. They're even dancing around this boss and looking a little strong. They're beating their chest. They know they have some strong early game.
They are going to get the curse here. I mean, level 10 is in. Unless they get a flank set up somehow and get an isolated kill, it should be impossible for QuackNiix and his team to now get the curse at the tribute at the bottom. That's half a level. And the tribute is spawning in 8 seconds. If they make the quick rotation, this is going to be nearly impossible to interrupt.
Yeah, they agree with you. They have Blaze in the top already. They have Tyrael in position to maybe get a delay, but he's also trying to soak the bottom lane. QuackNiix and crew know they have to get level 10. Li Ming's in a position here where she can maybe poke, but X-Ray wisely steps up, realizing that he has level 10 and completely nullifies that idea. And there it is. There's the curse.
Yeah, they get the curse in. Bloodlust is by now also ready. Rexa hasn't made the choice yet. We actually have seen, with Bloodlust, I've actually seen them spec into Misha on level 10 and 20. That was really, really interesting. I mean, traditionally, it's still the boars and then kill command. But with the Bloodlust setup, sometimes you have that focus on Misha, where she's trying to get the extra damage out. That was one of the other teams, though, that tried to make that play. But Rexa has still not committed, and there we go. Goes for the traditional boars and will step it up with kill command later on. Cage is down, though.
All right, here comes a little Pumbaa as the boars come out for connect. Here comes the stage dive. Just kidding, not the mosh pit. I haven't casted it in a year. Here comes the attack from Rhaegar. Big auto attack. Sandification will connect, but a kill comes in for Team HasuObs.
Top lane also getting pressure. That's going to be another fort that falls. And of course, all of these kills against structures are worth so much more on maps now in Heroes of the Storm after the changes with patch 50.0. And they're even going for the keep. If they can get a keep here, 7.5 minutes in, that would be insane.
That it would. They would ensure lane priority. Ultralisk taking some damage, trying to kite out. He gets away from the fight, but gets a tether. At the same time, though, Sandification will pop. Can Greymane get onto anyone? No. Beautiful disengage, and HasuObs will get out. Sanctification will be wasted.
Big push, obviously, still at the top, but that's tons of experience for them right now. The problem really is that they are already rotating towards the boss top side, but HasuObs and his team, they are moving in as we speak. They're not going to let this happen. Blaze is trying to defend on the right side, but they have to really split their attention right now. Do they go for the boss? Do they try to defend the top lane? There's experience lost already. The bullet is out. Ultralisk is in trouble, and this time Maiev is dead.
Goes by a little bit too far, and suddenly the shot call has been made. Chase him down. Scott trying to chase, looking to land that smite, maybe chase down some opponents. Gonna have Misha come in and check. They want to maybe keep an eye on that boss, but the call's been made. Hey, we've lost Maiev. She's our main engage. Let's just trade out bosses for now. We already have pressure on the map. We're winning macro-wise. We'll build towards 13. Just pick up the boss and call it a day.
And with Exterminator, of course, they can easily make that happen. There's just not enough time for QuackNiix and his boys to take the boss top side and then rotate down to the bottom of the map without any global here. The damage from Jimmy, I mean, they get it first. Even with the rotation, they get it first. So they lock the boss in, they can try to push through the bottom a little bit. Even the Siege Giants are still up. In an ideal world, they would attempt to maybe take those two, but they don't have enough heroes here right now. But they are already setting up bot side because that fort is gone. Top side boss is not going to get too much. Even a catapult is helping with the defense. That makes matters even worse for them. But here comes the 5-man setup with level 13 talents in their hands. HasuObs is keeping the pressure up, and I think that's the only thing that they can and should do against QuackNiix. Don't give them any time to make those calls, play the macro game. Just punish them whenever there's a possibility.
I mean, this is one of the ways that you can beat a Greymane composition. Just be faster than them when it comes to shot calls and make sure you're effective. Aegis comes out. There's the Bloodlust. They're going to try and run him down. Here's a Sandification. The keep is hitting ETC. He's going to have to back up. Bunker comes out, and the boss is well on away. We're going to see Tyrael on the back line trying to buy some space. And will it be enough to save that keep? It certainly does look like it, and we're going to have QuackNiix and crew hold on for now.
Tyrael in trouble, still trying to get away. Rhaegar, and he jumped back out. Nice play here by Tyrael. Last second jump back on the old ruins, and he makes it happen. But I gotta say, it became pretty tricky at the bottom at the keep defense because QuackNiix's team moved far away from the keep shot, so the new keep damage and the power that that thing has didn't actually play a role in the team fight itself. Maiev tethered everybody out, and then it was the chase against Tyrael that was nearly successful for them. But what a game. I mean, it's only the opening match. Now, obviously, we have the 1-0 lead for Team QuackNiix now because they have the winner bracket advantage. But game number 1, or map number 1, already a bit of a highlight. So many fights, so much aggression, and just non-stop brawling between the two teams.
Yeah, our blue team is looking to really want to tie that up quickly. They want to secure this 1-1 and move into this best of 7 as they have now 4 of the tributes that have been available. There has not been a chance for Team QuackNiix to grab their own tribute. And looking at the map right now, they're trying to get some priority in the middle of the map. It's not quite a talent advantage for HasuObs. This is their chance for them to set up and try to grab this tribute. But Team HasuObs doesn't even look they want to rotate on it. We have 4 in the bottom moving over to clear out this night camp instead. They want 16.
Yeah, and the next thing is also the bot lane. That's a bit of an issue. I mean, there's only one catapult 11 minutes in, but right now, if that keep falls, that would be a huge blow to the map control of Team QuackNiix. So they want the tribute, but they also can't waste too much time here, or the bot lane might become a problem for them. And as you said, level 16 makes things worse. The talent advantage would secure this tribute 100% for the blue team.
Time is on the side of HasuObs, and they're going to be able to get it. 16 connects, they grab the tribute as well. That's 5 out of 5 tributes. I'm not a major when it comes to math, but I think even Sesame Street would be proud of Team HasuObs right now. They are getting all of the numbers.
Yeah. do you know the Dave Chappelle clip about like Sesame Street and the Count, the pimp?
Nope, let's hear it right now. Just repeat it all perfectly. Go ahead.
I can't pull it off, but I have to send you a link later because that one is just too good.
2 tributes, all the way up to 5 here. 16 to 15 and a half. Team HasuObs is full ahead, and they're about to get how many curses? How many curses? 2 in total.
2 curses.
2.
I missed this.
Pretty fun. Not too shabby.
Fucking dummy. Alright, Tyrael. Careful, my friend. That was nearly a Misha attack over here. Bottom keeper's taking a bit damage, but not enough. Fountain at least is down. Yeah, and 16 versus 16 any second, but the red team has to actually buy a little bit more time. Tyrael might be in trouble. Does he have to sank out? Nope, can still jump. Yeah, interrupt against Banana Age, but the wolf is getting angry and is starting to bite.
Oh, they're trying to buy time here, but I don't know if they have enough gil. Rhaegar's on the bottom side. He's trying to get this tribute, but here's the engage. Blaze able to get out. There's the bunker. A big mosh pit, but the immediate wave of force comes out, but it's not enough. Here's a bloodlust. Rah, 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 rah. As 5 continues to move forward. 2 are down, and there's no way QuackNiix can win this, and there's a curse on top of it.
And the tether, another kill. Tyrael down, and the curse is pushing every single lane right now. QuackNiix and his boys are in absolute trouble. The curse going to go strong for another 40 seconds. That nearly makes it impossible to defend over here. The keep in the middle is already falling, and the keep at the bottom of the map is definitely going to die too. In the middle, we're seeing the massive move towards the core. 7 seconds for Greymane. Abla, on the other hand, is trying to survive a little bit longer on Blaze, but he's already in trouble and gets eliminated right there. Hasu and his team on the way to victory.
My golly gee. HasuObs comes out in this game and says, you know what, QuackNiix, you may have a 1-0, but we're tying this shit up, and we're going to game number 3, tied 1-1.
Okay, everybody.
You casted this morning?
Huh?
You casted this morning as well?
No. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's another cast.
Oh, okay.
Alright, guys, let's go. Tomb of the Spider Curse is already in. We've Garden of Terror again, so let's collect those tributes, seeds, and summon the Web Weavers, Garden Terrors. My bad, it's like so easy to mix those up. And yeah, let's get ready. 1-1. What do you say? What are we getting here? Is QuackNiix coming back on the bigger map and do his play?
If they speed up a little bit, I feel like Team HasuObs right now has some synergy down. You have to break synergy. Like if you allow people to keep feeling comfortable, that's where you're gonna get crushed. So maybe a little bit different strategy can come out for Team QuackNiix, and if they can throw a needle in the haystack here, screw up their opponents a bit, then I see it happening. But if not, I could see Team HasuObs and crew sweeping this tournament with how they played in Game 1.
I mean, honestly, like the last game, if you throw a couple of Germans in there, you're gonna get some efficiency. That's pretty much what happened on that side.
That is true.
I mean, they controlled the map. It was really impressive. I expected that more so, especially since it was their map choice from QuackNiix's team. But Hasu, they built up a lot of momentum after they took the winner bracket the loser bracket final with a 3-0. Now, this is actually the map choice of Team HasuObs. So they went for Garden. And in terms of bans, Deathwing is out, so that's already one of those pseudo-globals that we actually have as options. But when you look at the bans, again, no Rhaegar ban. We have Tyrael still up, Greymane is up. You could play globals around Falstad, and instantly the first pick for Rhaegar. I gotta say, though, that given that Ana is Bananas, we should actually see an Ana pick together with whatever else they're gonna take here from Team HasuObs, unless they're really willing to dedicate both of those picks now to, let's say, Tyrael again, and maybe even Greymane.
Sidetrack, Grandfather Khaldor, Deathwing. Why is Deathwing being banned so much? Is he obnoxious? Do players just find him annoying? Or what? Because I feel like he's not that crazy to play around. Is it the global aspect? Please enlighten me.
Okay, so it has changed in Europe a little bit. So Deathwing right now isn't actually banned this often anymore. And he also isn't really making an appearance in every single game where he isn't banned. So we see him occasionally. I think the ban right now is mainly because we are on Garden of Terror. It's a pretty huge map. Sram Goda played the hero and is actually really solid on Deathwing as well. Has done really good games in the previous matches with him. But generally speaking, he's not really prioritized as much as he was before. But what he brought was definitely, first of all, of course, you can't stun him out. So that was a big problem.
Sure.
The hit point pool makes it incredibly dangerous. And he always ended those games with pretty much top damage. And you have the global setup. If you play on any map where you have a channel, you know, he interrupts again. So the utility that he brings comboed with the damage output that he has and the problematic of not being able to stun him, I think that was a huge part of why he was such a integral part of the European meta for a time. Whereas, by the way, North America had literally in Division S Cho'Gall meta for 4 weeks. I mean, literally Cho'Gall meta. Banned or picked in every game. So just to highlight that for just a moment, because I think you might have missed that.
I'm glad I did, to be honest.
It got old very quickly. Yeah,
they all just like ban out like Malthael and Leo, and that was the strat every game.
Yeah, they literally for like 4 weeks or so banned in every single game Cho'Gall, or it got insta-picked. It was ridiculous. It was really, really weird. Like Hasu pretty much most of those games, so it was kind of funny. No, but Deathwing here, I think the size of the map is part of it. It's interesting that Ana gets his Banana, that Banana gets his Ana this late in the draft. Usually it's really an early combo that they try to set up for that. But what's the mage that they are using to with that? And Sylvanas. So Sylvanas, again, in the new patch, with all the towers, pretty powerful and played again. So that will be interesting, especially since Hasu and his team have picked his Greymane away. And Quack is still in that same wheelhouse, you know, where he has a couple of picks that just are full on down his lane, his comfort zone. So yeah, that gets banned out in this one.
What mage are we getting here? Is this Li Ming? Nano boosted Li Ming? It has to be, right?
I thought so too, but I'm honestly not so sure right now. With Jaina picked away, most likely. Even a global now on the other side, so the Haka with a big map like this makes total sense, and Quack can now try and call also a little bit more about what to take. This is also a map where, of course, taking camps, you have 6 in total, is super important. So Rhaegar, Sylvanas, Jaina, the Haka, super powerful here. But we get Maiev, so very aggressive setup around that. And let's go. We had Eye of Horus in a couple of the earlier games whenever they felt that they didn't need the nano boost. So that's an option for them as well.
Here, because Eye of Horus is incredible for slowing down a tribute channel. You can make sure the dive is bolstered out as they push in. It's great.
Yep, exactly. All right, game number 2. Let's jump in, ladies and gentlemen. Garden of Terror. Game number 2, so we are fighting for point 3, but it's game number 2. There was the winner bracket advantage for Team QuackNiix, but the score is tied. And in the second game on Garden of Terror, on the left side, X-Ray on ETC. We got HasuObs on Greymane, Banana H on Ana. Max Passion on a Rexa, Ultralisk on Maiev. And on the right side of the map, the global action from Abla on Dehaka, Swamgrota on Jaina, Yasu on Rhaegar, Skok on Johanna, and QuackNiix on Sylvanas in this second game. It should be a spicy one over here. And yeah, I'm a little bit hyped to also see again the Sylvanas plays, which of course is really, really cool with the new patch and the stronger towers and forts, since you can set up fantastic pushes with her now.
Yeah, you can, especially on this battleground too, with you being able to get a constant push moving forward with the plants pushing all 3 lanes at the same time. If they can get the first tribute, typically a Sylvanas composition can open up the map and put you behind. We do have our Dehaka on the top left as he's moving forward. Not going to be using drag for the scouting out, as there will be a 3-1-1 setup. Now, for those wondering what a 3-1-1 is, typically it's where you take 3 heroes, put them in a lane, and then 1 and 1 the other lanes. Usually you're trying to get a number imbalance against your opponent and try to open up a structure, whether that be a turret or be a fort. With Misha coming in the top lane and having a lot of CC, QuackNiix and crew decided to rotate to the middle instead and play the lanes.
Yeah, now that the camp's up, we're most likely going to see both of the teams, but particularly the red team, trying to get as many as they possibly can here. So we don't have what we've seen in some of the previous map plays here. We don't have that false stat with the wingman on level 1, but instead just tons and tons of wave clear on the maps. Jaina is great for camp clear. We have, in addition to that, Rhaegar with a lightning shield, Sylvanas moving in, and even Dehaka and Jojo with the AoE can contribute quite a bit to an organized push. But with 6 camps on the map, we're gonna get a lot of that, and that is tons and tons of push power through mercenary camps that could eventually lead to you taking structures of your opponent. But I'm really interested to see if Hasu and his team can set up a similar control level of what they pulled off in game number 1, because that was really impressive to me.
Certainly was. It's going to be hard against Sylvanas, but if they're able to pull it off, that would be a great win for them. I'm actually just kind of staring at these mercenary camps, as we saw both teams grab the Giants first and then move to their side lanes afterwards. But the priority being grabbed is actually in the top side. Quacks moves up and grabs the CC and uses that arrow on top of the turret, but this is why it's so hard to push into Amisha. Her just charging on you stops that entire duration from popping forward, and now with the rotation from Team Hasu, they clear it up without much of a problem and only lose half of a turret. Good move by them.
There's on the other hand, there's also like the pressure. They have to rotate to the Sylvanas lane. Like every single push with the mercenary camp that Sylvanas enhances is gonna threaten your structures. So there was a big commitment from HasuObs and his team to rotate 3 additional heroes towards the top to help out Rexa, but they had to do it, because if they don't go there, then Sylvanas just helps that bruiser camp and yeah, Dehaka to completely take down that wall and maybe even damage the fort itself. So they have to be really on point with those rotations, or they're gonna suffer structural damage.
Arcane Intellect picked up at level 4 here for Jaina. Interesting to see. Is this starting to be more of a meta build? Jaina players, oh, hang on. Quack's in trouble. He's pulled in and he's dead.
Yeah,
wow.
Ultralisk again with the Maiev. I mean, you've been talking about his Maiev plays on the last map, and he is just continuing where he left off on map 1 now. But coming back to your point, I mean, when we're talking about the Arcane Intellect, we either get the level 1 talent or the level 4 talent for the mana control there. So both of those can be played depending on who you have in there. We've seen some... We've actually seen some wild stuff, and A has some setups where they go for both. They go for the level 1 Globe Quest, and they go for the level 4. And it's just like...
It's so hard to give up Pierce, because that's Pierce on level 4, right? For Jaina, typically?
Yeah.
And the Pierce is so helpful against ETC, Misha being here as well. You can poke her down, but try to line it up to the backline at the same time.
Channels
too. See how it pays off. Yeah, it's really strong. So usually when I see that talent passed over for Arcane Intellect, I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
But we'll see how it pays off for them.
Yeah, with that now, we have Cleanse already in. Level 7 talents have just spawned. Also a little bit more of a dagger setup here for Sylvanas. Push towards the top now. So they are still hiding in that bush, and Sylvanas is trying to set up around that first, or that second seat actually. First one has already been taken. They're trying to take Misha down. There's the drag against Rexa. Fantastic setup against Max Passion, and it should be a kill, and indeed it is. Rexa down, and they try to focus on Greymane next.
Maiev has rotated over from the bottom lane, though, and they're thinking about moving in. It's going to be a tether. There's a slide being available as well. QuackNiix able to get out thanks to a cleanse, but he is bruised and battered. Can they get a delay? If so, Rexar might be able to come help. Nope, that's going to be a pickup for the red team.
And 1 seat on each side now. And a little bit more, I mean, this is already starting to be a little bit more even than what we've seen on map number 1. So definitely Hasu, QuackNiix and his boys, they had a little bit of a break. Maybe they got a little bit sleepy here and used game number 1 as a wake-up call. But this is looking slightly better for them now. And they are very diligent about just grabbing all these camps. I mean, you can really tell. Every single time one comes up again, there's an immediate rotation over. Now there's another drag topside against ETC. So gets the face melt through and pushes them back. Ultralisk with a big jump, gets the tether through, tries to yank good old Rega in, but doesn't really work.
Giants being grabbed in the bottom right. This will be a seed spawning.
By the way,
in the feed for the red team.
Now that I'm just talking about, like, Maiev yanking someone in, what exactly was yoink and boink again?
The yoink and boink! Oh, yeah. That's the Maiev big ring thingy. I forget what it's called. My God, my brain. The Warden cage. That's what it is, right? Cage, something cage. Use that, and then you put ETC in it, and they bounce them around. It's called the yoink and boink. It's a deadly combo.
I think I forbade you to use that. I think I shut that down.
And now we know why HEC died right there, because the yoink and boink was smothered by Khaldor.
Yeah. As if you listen to me. As if you listen to me. Whenever I said don't talk about this, he's like, nope, we're gonna do that.
We're going in. And then I look over and grin. A little trick ass straight at his face. Some poke already here on the right side. It's 10-10. We're going to have a battle right now, Khaldor.
Yeah, there's the bloodlust. There's the cage. They want to go for a little bit of yoinking and boinking, but unfortunately in this case, they didn't do enough. They're trying to go for Jojo though. Skork is down, gets murdered here, but they're trying to turn it. Only a drag against Misha, and even she escapes. 5 versus 4 setup now on the map as Team Hasu is looking for the second seed. Greyman already at the bottom of the map, trying to make sure that that Bruiser camp also gets value against the wall. And the fight is actually not over yet.
Big Tongue comes in. Oh, for the cursed bullet in the combo. This guy's dead. You're donezo, bud. He's going to get picked off. That's going to be 5 completely alive here for Team HasuObs. They step up and quietly go for a channel. Great cursed bullet. Dahaka's done.
3 kills against 1, and again the momentum down here. They're playing around the tower, going for the aggro, and there's the slide and the isolation. Yasuo is down, they kick the doggy, and the pocket Chihuahua bites the dust. Going straight in for the fort. Also, Svamgrota has to be careful right now. If he stays too long, he might be in trouble too.
That puppy overextended. Johanna's come in from behind and try to create a little space. Now, I know Johanna's kind of one of these characters that can live for a year and a half, but you still need to be careful. Wait a minute! Johanna was just deleted in 3 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. That's how much damage came out. That's a Johanna. That's one of the characters that never dies. This German team is being completely efficient.
Yeah, I already said earlier, like in one of the games it really looked for just a second as if Hasu and his boys could actually lose on Towers of Doom without taking a single altar. And I said immediately, if you pull a North America over here, then the German citizenship is revoked. Angie has spoken, and she clearly said that in this case there is only one result, and it's banishment. And after I confirmed that, I called her real quickly, then Hasu started to step it up. I was like, wait a second, guys, that's not happening. I think they even won that map, so yeah. You need the efficiency. But we didn't see a German tank yet, so eventually I think we have a good chance of that coming in too. Hasu played it so many times now, and his Sergeant Hammer, when they get the setup for it, it's nuts. Honestly, Bloodlust, in one of the earlier games, they played Bloodlust, Sergeant Hammer, and Jimmy. Anything that remotely got into auto attack range just disappeared from the map. It was disgusting.
One of the good things about Bloodlust here too, as well, is that with Anna B on the other side, we've been seeing Banana on point with all of these grenades to provide that 100% healing disruption. Being able to get Bloodlust kind of spreads out that healing a little bit more and also prevents you from losing an ancestral healing. So, good pickup here for our red team, but they have to deal with these plants that are pushing down their lanes. And these plants are looking more like Godzilla as they are crushing.
Yeah, 5 kills against 1, 13 versus 13. Bot lane forward, of course, gone already early. They took it apart before this even happened, and now they're trying to go through the middle. There's the slide, there's the setup. Blast Shield comes out, it's not enough. They're trying to get the counter kill against ETC, and they might even get it with Yasuo jumping in, but the cage is down on the ground once more. ETC dodging all the damage. X-Ray still persecuted by that water elemental over here, trying to follow him, but there's no counter kill, and it was great damage dished out as we have the last one down to the bottom of the map. Still trying to take a few of those towers apart. Great setup here. Hasu in his team, seriously great performance thus far in this grand final.
But Dahaka's trying to make his own stink here. He turns around and gets a solid tongue, pulls in a target. It's going to be that gray main as he gets melted. So a little bit more of a bite back here as Dahaka and crew are able to find that kill. But what are they going to do macro-wise? They lost a fort, lost half a fort, and some decent experience in that engagement. Their first chance here is going to move over and grab these giants. But do they start looking for invades here soon? What is the way for them to get back in the game?
I would love to say that the Haka and the additional experience soak that they should get to him are eventually gonna do it for them, but right now, if they lose more and more structures here, then the only thing that he's gonna be good for is trying to defend those lanes before the catapults push against the keeps. I love that they go for a more aggressive invade at the bottom of the map because they need to show some initiative right now. They can't just sit back and let Hasu and his boys dominate the strategy here, but here comes Maiev again with a tap on the backline. They're trying to go for QuackNiix again as the camp is still being fought over.
Johanna trying to hold her ground here. Sylvanas will get a kill on Misha, but the Phantom Knives are coming in and they are resetting. They're getting 3 resets in total. ETC trying to find a combo. Here's Ultralisk with the tether, but the Iron Skin comes out just in time. QuackNiix looks like they're going to be able to get away except for Sylvanas, but they still have an issue. Look in the top lane. There's a giant camp pushing during this entire engagement with a seed spawning in 15 seconds. They're back to cleanup duty.
Also, by the way, Johanna trying to hold your ground. You really think I didn't hear that?
That wasn't even on purpose. Honestly, that was just my brain working in the background. That's subconscious, bruh.
Yeah, that's how far gone you already are.
I'm lost, man. I'm gonna rule the video games now. I might as well just join virtual reality.
It was a good one. It was a good one. I liked it.
Thanks, man. I just want you to be proud of me. Please, Dad.
I always have been. 7 kills against 2 and the talent advantage. I mean, again, Hasu, I am impressed. By the way, there's another thing. I didn't talk to you about it just yet, so I want to highlight it again. People have probably heard me talk once or twice about it. The level 13 talent on Reka has changed because of Bloodlust. You don't need the shield anymore to account for the extra channel duration until Ancestral is through, so they actually started to shift it over on a lot of the teams and go into the tidal waves instead of going for the traditional shield setup here. So Bloodlust, as a different pick, allows for that now to be an option.
Interesting. Well, Tribute about to come up, and good news for Team QuackNiix is they have hit level 16. This is a fight they can fight. There is Dahaka in the bottom lane, so we have to call for him when they do need him to rotate in. Seed spawning in 8 seconds. There is a scuffle over this camp in the top right corner, but QuackNiix and crew are going to give it up. I don't know if I like that play completely. Here comes a drag, it misses. And the moment Dahaka misses the drag, that's go time for HasuObs. They turn around, get a combo. Dahaka can't even heal, and he is gone.
Dahaka dead immediately, and Hasu and his boys again dominant over here, trying to get their follow-up against the rest of the team. They're already moving in, especially now with the boss as they're getting unleashed here, trying to lock down Jaina in particular. Can't make that play, but it's 8 kills against 2, and the top fort is about to fall to that minion wave, or to that camp that was taken just a few seconds ago. The seed advantage also in the hands of Team HasuObs, and they are starting to paint that map blue. We said initially that it's really important to control the mercenaries here, but if you look at the minimap, more and more those mercenaries are in the hands of Team HasuObs, and they are establishing a pretty dominant position on the map by taking down the structures, eliminating the forts, taking all of those mercenary camps, and getting those lanes pushed out continuously.
Now, I will say that the late game on this map with the recent core changes is actually quite difficult to end on. Whenever you do get on the core, it spawns little circles that polymorph you, and they're all over the area as well. So it's actually really annoying to go for an all-in push, and if Greymane gets hit with that, he gets slowed, and suddenly a CC train can come in from Dahaka and Johanna. So this game isn't fully over. There is defense available for our red team, but it is looking dire.
I mean, especially in this tournament, we had so many cool comebacks already. Recently, just this year in general, the playoffs for Division S Europe, for example, I think we had 4 reverse sweeps. It was nuts. So you can really never count them out there. But when you talk about the core abilities, Dragonshire is crazy. That petrification is absolutely bonkers. A 1.7 second stun. I mean, it basically just like throws out globes and it petrifies you, turns you to stone like the Dragon Knight for 1.7 seconds or something. So it's a massive, massive thing. And the last time that I've only seen it once in the tournament, but oh boy was that thing strong. If you are not quick on your feet to move out, then you're just like stunned out. That is a powerful one. Also powerful, this setup. Yeah. He got away.
Blessed Shield goes in, there's the Bloodlust too, but ETC gets away. That's the thing about ETC, if he has his knockback up, it's hard to chase him down. And Misha pays for it, but on the back line, Dahaka once again has been deleted.
Mosh pit interrupted, and again, X-Ray needs to be careful here, but in comes Maiev with a tether with a cage, trying to go for the kills, gets locked down temporarily by Jaina, and Team QuackNiix is still trying to fight this out. They have a 4 versus 5 going in, and are now finally starting to retreat, but that of course is going to be another channeled seed by Team HasuObs, and they are gonna get the objective. Top lane already aggressively pushing, they take another cam currently on the left side, mid lane is pushing too, they are really on the ropes right now. HasuObs, they won game number 1. They just completely negated the advantage that QuackNiix had with this team from coming through the winner bracket, and now we're seeing them aim for those keeps, aim for level 20, and they are massively pushing through the bottom of the map now.
And the thing is, Ana's alive, which means this game is over. Banana on Ana is ridiculous. That guy knows how to get every single ounce of every dart gun, every grenade out of that character. And with 20 on the front door here of QuackNiix and crew, they're going to have to pull out a miracle to defend this.
Absolutely, and that keep is definitely gone now. So the first keep is going to be down. 20 talents are in their hands now as well. And with that, we are straight moving in. By now, also the upgraded. They're going into Deadeye at this point. Kill command is in too. And a 5 versus 5. But once that we're having the attack against the core, the only thing that can save them is a quick bloodlust attack. The seeds are out, and they respect the core. They don't go for it. Typically example of where in the old patch you would have seen a move for the core to finish the game, but over here they're just saying, boys, play it safe, go for the camp, use the advantage through the level 20, establish more map control, and just play it slow and make sure that we're not gonna lose this map right now. There is just too much on the line.
I like they got the Giants pushing down in the bottom lane so they can get that pressure on top of that core, and they're just waiting in the bushes here at the top left, trying to see what their opponents are doing, because again, as you mentioned, they have the advantage. They can just wait to have vision before they jump onto a target. Once they see one middle, a couple on the bottom, and a couple on the top, they go ahead and move forward for the Giants and those Knights. Keep that map blue.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Take both of the camps over here, then they can always fall back to the left side, take their own siege giant camps if they want to time them. They can wait for the next objective, and can still try to even push this too. I mean, they have the catapults going. So far, Team QuackNiix hasn't eliminated a single fort, so they will have to face all of that pressure eventually.
Pressure's coming, Khaldor. It could fill a water balloon. It is huge right now. 20 to almost 20 for the red team. Team QuackNiix defends, and that water balloon actually popped. They just back up. We're gonna grab their own camps. They're gonna wait it out. Just kidding. There goes my metaphor. Thanks a lot, Team Hasu. Thanks a lot.
I'm trying to do something with it, but I'm thinking about where's all the water going.
There's nothing. It's gone. It's gone. The water's gone. The pipes have frozen.
I mean, the 20 for them are actually really strong. You have Contagion, you have Wintermute, the Gladiator's Washout, so we're all of a sudden talking about real powerful level 20 upgrades. So it's not like they can't win a team fight here, but the problem is, even if they do, and the possibility is definitely there, it's still going to be difficult for them to get a lot out of it, because they would have to push through forts, through keeps, and they even give this one up. The seat at the top left, it's the first one for Team Hasu, so in this case they don't really care too much. But they still let the blue team dominate and let them currently take the initiative here.
Yeah, I mean, in their mind, they're probably sitting there thinking, okay, all we need is one good Bloodlust and get the engage we want. We just have to pick somebody off. And once we run them over, typically with a Bloodlust composition, if you get that first kill, you will snowball over your opponents. They just got to find that moment. But I love, if you watch the blue team, how they're always spread out. They don't clump up too much. In case that moment does happen where they get flanked or a Bloodlust occurs or a Dahaka comes in, they can make sure that they can get away from the fight with ETC.
It's also kind of crazy if you think about vision on the minimap now, because with all of the camps that have been consistently taken by Team HasuObs, the red team doesn't have a lot of vision and control. They only see like a third of the map, most of the time even less than that. So they have to be very, very careful when they move out now. And already the Skog is just sitting at the side, but the split that you've been talking about is definitely there. And they're looking for the Dahaka again, but this time he doesn't get fooled, moves out. There's a nice root setup against Ultralisk. Blessed Shield also YOLO'd out us. They're trying to get the stun, but they couldn't. But the silence hits Maiev, and she's in front of there's the dragon. She is down, but the mosh pit! The mosh and the kills!
It's a party! 2 will fall. There's a Sylvanas. ETC X-Ray seeing through them like a X-ray. Finds the power slide into a mosh pit. gets the pick. That's gonna be 4. Look at Rhaegar. He's trying to run away. Put that puppy on a leash. Wait. He broke the leash. He's gonna get out there. HasuObs wants it, but he won't get it. The core is exposed, and Team HasuObs can move forward and look at the core for a kill.
He sees through them like a X-ray. Glorious.
Love it, right?
It was great. Banana gets attacked. The core about to fall. Team Hasu. I mean, the German efficiency is next level right now as they are going straight in, dodging out on all on seed spawns over here. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the lead in the best of 7 for Team HasuObs as they dominate on Cursed Hollow. They take the victory on Tomb of the Garden Curse and have the 2-1 now in the best of 7 over Team QuackNiix. Okay, let's go everybody. The 2-1 lead for Team HasuObs. We're having a great time here. HasuObs stepping it up with his team in the gameplay. QuackNiix trying to fight back here. And at the same time, during the breaks, we have awesome conversations about Tim and Smelly Feet taking shoes off during the HTC broadcast. Good memories, good memories.
Good times, indeed. Very good.
Yeah, you guys think that hot butter through cheese meme just fell out of the sky? Why do you think I think about cheese all the time? There's a reason for that.
I forgot about that hot butter through cheese. He's gonna cut through him like hot butter through cheese.
Dude, it's still happening. And the funny thing is, you always have a couple of people that are new to either the Twitch stream or the YouTube videos when I load it up, and all of them like, you're such an idiot, that's not a thing. And I'm like, yeah, it is here.
It is a thing, man.
Medivh gets banned. Okay, so Quack and his boys. This time Medivh gets actually banned against them. Still the Deathwing ban. Yeah, Svamgroda apparently has made an impression in the earlier games that he played. So this time they're banning the hero out again. Towers of Doom, so another map where you can rock the globals. Zul as usual, banned even after the nerf that he received in the recent patch. And they're finally respecting the Maiev. Look at this. Maiev ban on the early position. They're like, okay, we're done with Ultralisk. This is over.
He's been really good at finding the angle to penetrate the middle of the back line and just find a target and pull them in every single time. And that is something that if you consistently have to deal with, eventually you're going to get frustrated with it. And that's what we're seeing here. 2 games in a row, they're done with it, they're banning it out. Now, there is Sylvanas up, which this is a map where I wonder if Sylvanas could be scary with. A Sapper push with forts being taken down against the new fort changes could be a bit terrifying if executed well.
Tyrael is also still up. I mean, again, the Rhaegar Greymane Tyrael setup gets already split by Rhaegar as a first pick and then Greymane as a reaction on the other side. And particularly, of course, for QuackNiix, that's the hero that he really wants. ETC's in 2, you get Johanna, so she can dodge out with the Iron Skin whenever that happens. Rexa, I mean, he has been for 1.5 years now one of the most consistent offlaners that we actually have in the European meta, at least, together with Misha. But Sylvanas is definitely an option. We had her in one of the previous games. But once that you fall a little bit behind, it's really tough sometimes to get her in a good position to make the play here. So in the bans, Jimmy gets banned out so often. Especially HasuObs and his team, they play a lot around this. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't ban Sergeant Hammer, to be honest with you. Because that's something that we got a lot recently.
Ugh. Please don't Hammer for my own personal bias. She's insane. She's incredibly good, and I think that team's built around her is wonderful, and competitively she's great. But as a player that likes having fun, I don't want to play against a Sergeant Hammer, nor do I want to watch it. Give me instead, the possibility of Leo. I want some Leoric. Give me some Leo.
Oh, Leo,
right,
you're going to see Leo. I don't know if he's going to make a play in this one, but Leo in Europe is huge.
Okay, good. Bony boys are where it's at. Hell yeah.
But I'm really surprised that they let Hammer open. There's so many teams that early on ban Hammer against HasuObs. You don't give the Germans the Panzer. That's not a good start into any kind of conversation. And there's a Leo pick. Horrible skin
nice. What skin? Oh, that skin's okay.
Yeah.
I like the edginess in the voice.
Yeah.
It gives me Darth Vader vibes, but a little bit more Kylo Ren-esque, and Kylo Ren was definitely the best part of the last Star Wars series, so like I'm okay with it.
The last Star Wars series, those were those horrible movies I didn't even watch completely, right?
That's okay. The Mandalorian saved the Star Wars universe, so we're good. It's
He
okay to
kinda
love
did.
Star Wars again.
He kind of did. Nah, I'm not. There's Hammer. I mean, again,
Oh my god!
doesn't surprise me at all. Like, that was a given. If you don't ban that against him on Towers of Doom, they must have known that. There's absolutely no way they didn't know that.
Well, we're gonna have to deal with Sergeant Hammer. Their siege potential for this blue team is obnoxious. You have great control between Johanna and Rexar, and if somehow, some way, you wiggle past this Johanna and Rexar, there's a Rhaegar there, boom, with a cleanse. It's gonna be difficult.
Yeah.
Ooh, they bring out the Chromie though.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good setup because this, like, I mean, completely contrary to what the last Star Wars movie were, aka garbage, this is actually going to be good now. So I like that. We have Chromie for the hammer control. That's the secret strategy over here. Towers of Doom is coming up, and that's going to distract us from those movies that we all wish would have never been produced in the first place. Towers of Doom, ladies and gentlemen, map number 3. Game on! Game number 3! And yes, I know, it's already 2-1, but again, the red team started with a 1-0 advantage into this series, thanks to them accomplishing the grand final participation through their winner bracket. So in the third game here on Towers of Doom, Team HasuObs on the left side, with Ultralisk on Liming, X-Ray on Johanna, HasuObs himself on Hammer, with Banana H on Rhaegar, and Max Passion on Rexar. On the right side of the map, Svamgrota, he's the one to keep the Hammer at bay, playing Chromie, QuackNiix on Greymane, Skok on ETC, and Abla on Leo with Yazu on Lucio. Let's go.
We have Sergeant Hammer heading straight to the bottom, which should indicate that blue team does not want to fight. Lane priority has been a big deal here for our red team. They always go straight to the middle lane, clear it out, and then start the rotation, which is something that seems like Team Hasu has kind of picked up on. You have Sergeant Hammer actually lingering here on the far left, seeing if she can get a little damage on anyone as she scouts him to rotate down the bottom side. But from here, the moment you see Chromie, you should never see HasuObs siege up. Chromie is so good at targeting a target that never moves.
The interesting part here is actually that in the early game with Sergeant Hammer, the way that this has been playing out for HasuObs and his boys is... Oh, wait a second. X-Ray! And the first kill. Yeah, I was just about to say, normally what happens is that during the first objective phase, for example, traditionally you have the top left, top right split and then the fight over the third altar. And when they play Hammer on this map, they do it a little bit different. They split the top, but then they completely give up the bottom, because with Hammer they can't really fight until she has her level 7, right? And in one of the previous games, some of the opponents have actually started to try and take advantage of that and even invade the pumpkin camp on the left. And it seems like at least Quack and his boys are thinking about it. But even if they don't do it, I would still assume that Hasu and the blue team are going to play very careful around the third altar and very likely going to let it go and just simply say, okay, we're going to take one of the altars in the first triple rotation, but for the rest we are only fighting once that Hasu actually has his hovering siege mode.
I like that you bring that all up. The first 8 minutes of this game should be focusing on the bottom lane and those sappers. So if your opponent is doing something like we just saw, where they're putting Sergeant Hammer somewhere else in a different lane, or that was just mentioned by Khaldor, don't be afraid to grab these sappers. These are the most powerful tool on the map. They're stronger than the boss in the early game in some factions. Quack is actually pushing this Johanna back into the turret here. Sergeant Hammer taking damage as well. And that lack of team fight that you were talking about is on full display here as HasuObs eats an entire volley of damage.
Yeah, and just barely through the trade, we're seeing Johanna moving back in the spot, and X-Ray has also to Hearthstone right now, so Banana H is taking the position over. But yeah, the early game is tough until you have the hovering siege mode. Most of the time, Haas and his boys are letting it go. But the late game control that they have is pretty nuts. And that's actually what brought them back in a few of the previous games, despite the fact that they were significantly behind. Now we're going to see the first altar phase coming through. And this is really where it becomes interesting, because top left should definitely go over to the blue team now. But I'm pretty sure that they're going to let the middle altar here, the third one, slide and just simply give it up unless they get a quick kill in or something.
Alright, let's see how we set up here. Rexar's in the top left, per usual, gonna be grabbing that tribute, or I'm sorry, altar. Li Ming soaking the middle lane, as Johanna's doing her best here to delay in the middle, but she's taking a bit of a beating for it. Chromie at the same time. All focus on top of Sergeant Hammer. If she can land any damage on top of Hammer, it'll be a win for her team. Leo rotates down, and it might be a bit of a 5v5.
Yeah, they're currently still trying to interrupt this. They're fighting more aggressively for it than they've done in previous games. On the one hand, I'd like it. On the other hand, they really have to watch out and realize, okay, how long can we actually keep this up? But delaying is helping them to just make sure that they hit the earlier level 10 or round objective phases, at least that is. Big aggression now over to the top. Another stun attempt as they're trying to go for Rexa and Leo, but Rexa goes down. And that's one of the big problems here. They were a bit split to begin with. But Chromie is still firing away. Svamgrota just doing damage time and time again and trying to figure out how to best keep Hammer at bay.
I like also too, he left one echo. Well, he just changed it. If there was an echo up by that altar in case someone did try to start sticking it, he could delay it by getting a shot in there. Nice play by the Chromie. And I will say, I'm a bit impressed by this Chromie play. I think Chromie is one of the weakest heroes in the game right now. After her last couple of reworks, and he's slowly changing my mind. I do want to see, as we get to the late game, when Chromie's damage starts to fall off, because it doesn't scale like it used to in her old reworks, how well he does with this comp.
For now, also, Calamity is in. We have the level 4 adjustment, as we oftentimes see with the Triumvirate now, so not going into dominance here. And also, again, Hammer on, plus Hopelessness on the side of Leo. But with now level 7 talents in, finally, the Hava Siege mode. So this is where HasuObs is really starting to be way more impactful than previously. Much easier to simply rotate here, much easier to just make those small adjustments and then also capitalize on the level 4 talent and the siege tactics.
Alright, so poke on the bottom, clearing out the sappers. As we head to late game, Temporal Loop will be the pickup for our Chromie. I like Temporal Loop when you have it with a Greymane or a Diver. You just straight up pick the target if there's no cleanse available, although there is here for Rhaegar. If you can time it around there, you can just delete that target. We do have Johanna?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, go ahead.
I mean, we pretty much don't have Sands anymore in Europe. It's all Temporal Loop, like no matter what the setup. And of course, Rhaegar can try and play around it with the cleanse, but I can't even remember the last time that I had Shifting Sands in. So we see quite a few Chromies. She's not super dominant, but she's definitely getting play. And yeah, it's always the same old, so there's no real deviation there anymore. At least none that I've seen previously or recently. But at level 10, they actually have a lead in experience now too, so for this altar phase, this is pretty fantastic. They are nearly on level 10 now. It couldn't really be any better for them.
Leo about to have that Entomb. Rexar is looking top lane to be able to more towards 10 himself, but I don't think it'll be here in time. There is some delay taxes here between Johanna and Li Ming's poke, so maybe Team Hasu can hold these tributes, but it's nice to see Team QuackNiix in position of a lead. We haven't seen that so far in this series.
They really struggle to take any kind of dominant position and take the initiative here, so that could definitely be changing the pace of this up. First, Altar's already channeled through. They're desperately trying to get level 10 so that they can fight with even talents, and there it is. Ults are in, BFG for Hasu as usual. Bloodlust is in too, and now they can finally start to push in for this one, especially with the Blessed Shield of X-Ray. That could set things up for them, especially of course for Li Ming.
Power slide, lockdown, there's an Entomb. Johanna locked in position here. Greymane goes in, there's the damage. BFG comes out. Johanna, how are you alive? Rhaegar gets in as well. It's gonna be some more damage coming in from Li Ming as Ultilis is looking for a kill.
ETC is about to go down, but the kill, yes, there's the second one. Kill is waiting a little bit more. They go for Lucio, and he's dead too. Lucio zipping around in the altar channel. There was a beautiful Blessed Shield in particular by Jojo. After she got locked down, they did a great job making sure that not only to keep her alive, but also to turn the entire setup around. Over here, Chromie is getting slapped around a little bit as well. And they're trying, and she likes it, and they're trying to conceal the camp away. So Pumpkin's already in, and the damage output towards the gate as they're sieging up with Sergeant Hammer.
Gosh, and that BFG hitting 3 people in the fight as well. Just greatly done by our blue team. He really felt forward. Johanna there, I felt like she's gonna be taken up. Oh gosh, red team is back right again. There's the power slide, but right away, Iron Skin comes out, and she'll back away from the fight. And we got a close game on our hands, 28-32. 32 in the favor of our red team.
Yeah, and Hasu and his boys have actually started to take... I mean, I don't want to say they have taken control of this anymore. They didn't. They are slightly ahead now. They have a skill advantage and an experience advantage, but all of it is very, very small. But the initial control that we saw for QuackNiix is now gone, and it is, as you said, a really close call. So this can really shift with any team, or every team fight that happens from here on out. And the next objective phase is going to be a single altar at the bottom of the map again. So that could definitely be a pretty spicy battle that we're seeing between the two.
HasuObs holding his footing down here on the bottom left while Johanna keeps getting bit up here on the bottom right. Johanna is low, but ETC looks a little bit lower. He's having a rough time here. Lucio being one of those heroes that until he has to amp it up, can't really provide the most. Oh, a nice read there by the Chromie, but the damage not quite getting the kill on Li Ming there. Getting her down to half HP. Rhaegar will be able to top her off.
Damage output on Hasu already at 21,000. I mean, Chromie is more just poking against Hasu whenever she gets a chance. But every single time we see someone starting to move a little bit closer to HasuObs, they're starting to drop quickly. And Hasu's just taking the damage. I mean, Chromie is firing like whatever she can onto him. But there's always Banana H with the heals, getting also a fantastic healing totem out to just like heal those mini pokes that we're seeing from her time and time again. So a really good job from the support here to keep the boys alive. Banana H again with the channel attempt interrupted by ETC, and they're trying to make the play with the Blast Shield and the Bloodlust, the BFG, and that could be a kill.
He tries to mosh the last second attempt to save his team, but he has been deleted, and there will be a second one. Ultalus going in and looking for reset after reset. That is 2 done as ETC and Lucio get picked off.
5 kills against 2, 28 points on the core for both teams now, and the quick rotation towards the top from both of the solo laners. Even Johanna in the middle helping out with the wave clear a bit, trying to help the team. Also, next camp up in 4 seconds, and Banana H and HasuObs with Rhaegar and Sergeant Hammer are already in position to capitalize on it. QuackNiix sees it, he can sniff it out, but he can't do anything about it.
Nah, it's gonna be a Sapper camp picked up. Will they ferry this in here and try to get this wall open? That would be a great win for our blue team as we are tied up 28-28. At least some turret damage would be great too. Chromie doing her best to slow down this push with the help of QuackNiix. Lucio on soak duty in the middle lane too. It's starting to get to a point where it looks like the map control is starting to get heavily favored in terms of the blue team, which has been the story of the series so far.
Yeah, they are actually now breaking through this at the bottom, but you can already tell, we talked about this slightly, the impact of the changes on Towers of Doom, and the slowdown I think is already visible. If you would have had this setup in the old patch, I think they would have broken by now through the wall and probably pushed some damage onto the bell tower on the red team side. But with this, it's just a little bit of a slower process into the map, so you have to be very careful that you don't step out of position at some point, that you don't overextend, or there is a bigger chance that you're going to get punished for it.
Okay, 15 3/4 to almost 15 for Team QuackNiix. There's going to be Ultras activating, one on the top left and one on the top right. Leo already in position to slow down the aggression from the blue team. Johanna will scout that out, however, and Leo has to Wraith walk away. HasuObs and crew look like they want to break both Ultras and potentially take them.
Yeah, they're going to try with the level 16 advantage. Greymane is still at the bottom of the map, so they seem to be willing to actually let some of that slide. Channel is in on the left side. Max Passion gets the connect. That's 4 shots fired, but they're starting to push in now. They have the 16, and that means Giant Killer. HasuObs was already annoying to deal with in the first place, but here's the kill. They take down ETC, and they're trying to get more. BFG even came in too late. Hasu with more and more damage. Bloodlust makes it possible. They get another channel through, and that's another 4 points gone. 20-28.
That fight was so fast, but I wanted to slow down a little bit because I wanted to know the positioning of Johanna and Rhaegar. X-Ray went to the top right corner to make sure to zone out anyone pushing forward, and Rhaegar went to the very tippy top of the altar just to make sure that Chromie could not poke him out of that altar and that channel, even with her W, her Dragon's Breath. Great positioning by the blue team, and they're showing what exactly they know about this game and what their opponents are capable of doing.
I honestly think it's absolutely terrifying here. With the maps being slowed down a little bit thanks to the tower changes, discipline is so important, and the Germans have that in spades at this point. I mean, it's crazy to me how diligent they are about just taking the entire time, camp after camp, not overextending, playing it slow, playing it disciplined, not giving the opponent's team anything to work with, and up to this point, it really works out. I wonder if they can keep that up, or if they are starting to just overextend enough so that Quack and his team can finally get that turnaround power slide, you know, to set something up for Greymane and Chromie to get that quick kill in, because they have the burst damage.
I just don't see it happening, man. The Zappa control, as you used to say, has just been too strong for the blue team. It's so hard to bounce back if you can't get these Zappers onto the bottom fort. Even if they're not going in, which they haven't been doing for the blue team. It's a good defense so far for Team QuackNiix. But them taking it away just takes away an arsenal from our red team to make that comeback happen.
Yeah, here maybe finally the kill. Maybe that's the moment, but even now X-Ray is able to get out. He takes the beating, but he survives. Can top up at the fountain, and we have the altar phase activating in a few moments, and that's the next triple altar in this game. Siege tactic has already been used too. 6 kills against 2. Channel attempts, top left, top right, are going to go for the exchange between Rek'Sai and Leo. Misha already on the way towards the middle, and down here at the bottom, it's a question if Yasu can get it done, but the BFG forces him off.
BFG with the delay. Low on HP, but Johanna steps up. There it is. The Iron Skin comes out. Temporal Loop. Here comes the combo. Blessed Shield, though, once again from X-Ray. And here comes the Bear for the back line as he jumps the gnome.
ETC trying to get the mosh pit through, but after we saw the Bloodlust, the engage was instantaneous, and they get the kill against the frontliner. And now we have Yasuo already low. They're still trying to interrupt, but they're taking a beating down there. It's a numeric advantage for Team HasuObs, and they are going for full zone control again, trying to get a follow-up kill against Arbla. But they should not have any problems locking in another 4 shots against the red team now.
The Bear is hunting. The Bear is looking. There's going to be a time trap as he gets locked down. Chromie sieges as he can, but the blue team steps up once again and grabs the ground. We're going to have a beautiful channel already starting here. Lucio can be annoying. Oh my gosh, Cursed Bullet, and there's a shot. Lucio with the boop, and that's a kill.
Fantastic coordination. Really gotta respect that. QuackNiix and his team delaying it for ages. Chromie being pure Kansas. She gets one interrupt in after another, and then they see that one opportunity. Bullet engage, and bam, straight into the ground. And that's 4 shots fired. And that barely saves them in the double digits, actually, because if that goes through, then it's 8 points on their core, and even the boss attempt could set this up. HasuObs again with a pause. We had that actually a couple of times now for them already, and it seems like we are looking again at Ultralis dropping. He seems to have some connection issues. Yeah, German internet these days, my friend, was already pretty shitty before Corona, but I tell you, with all that heavy usage now in the late hours of the day, this is getting worse and worse and worse, and his seems particularly unstable.
Dude, the internet in general, everywhere in the world, has just been such an issue. I don't know what's going on with that. I know the stress is ridiculous, but oof. But it looks like he's back, as we will be getting back into the game here pretty soon. But we've got a good one on our hands, 20-12. A little bit of a lead here for our blue team. But we have Team QuackNiix fighting back. Yeah,
I like it. Like, finding that kill was not easy for them, especially after they were in a 4 versus 5. There's so many teams that would have just fallen back, and you couldn't... I wouldn't have blamed them for it at all. Just taking the L in that little skirmish and saying, okay, we have to fight another day. But they are working on it. They're only half a level behind, and there's the Entomb against X-Ray. That might just be it. He has the Blessed Shield, uses it in the last moment, but it was a little bit too late, and he goes down. They try and turn on Max Passion Temporal Loop, but he goes for the feign death, and that just saved his ass.
But this is the moment. This is where you open up the map as much as you can. You got a Gray main. You got your ETC. Put them in the bottom lane. Open up that fort. Grab all the map control. And they're setting up for it right away. Now, we're going to have a bit of a pause once more, as it looks like we're having a few more lag spikes for Ultralisk. But this is the moment for Team QuackNiix.
Exactly. And the lag spike, I mean, in this case, it didn't really have any real impact on what just happened there. But catching that rotation was actually fantastic. And QuackNiix and his team, they have in the previous games set up a couple of these little traps for any kind of rotational play that have yielded tons and tons of results for them. So getting that kill against Johanna was just so impactful because it was pretty much a staggered death. You look over to the death timers, and we just now see Hammer coming back into the game, but Jojo is dead for another 41 now, and there are no altars on the map right now. You look over towards the boss, and it's still on 1 minute and 27 seconds, so it's not like they can really take a lot. The only thing that's really up is their own camp. But if they can now, for example, push down to the bottom of the map, as you already highlighted, push in, take that bell tower, then all of a sudden we're looking at a setup in which you might just be able to dominate that bot lane enough so that with upcoming camps, you can just get those extra pumpkins connected through, get the shots at the core, maybe also get the 5 versus 3 situation going for the next altar phase, and finally catch up in terms of HP on the core itself. Because, let's be honest, 20 against 12 for Towers of Doom, that's not a huge gap.
No. We've seen greater comebacks in the past. It looks like we're about to hop back into the match here as our players are ready now. As mentioned by Khaldor in that little break, 40 seconds before we have our Johanna back on the field. This is a full window for Team QuackNiix to push in the bottom lane, and they will. And you already spoke about how hard it is to take back this fort, but don't forget about the extra layer of Chromia as well. With her being able to put down that time trap and siege away and have her clones down there, that will be a difficult task. And you already see the blue team setting up for other lanes instead. They're going to grab the sappers in the top, try and be pushing that damage on the fort. They have Sergeant Hammer floating between the middle and the bottom, defend where it's needed as they build towards that level 20.
I would actually say if they broke through the wall earlier and had maybe some damage on the top bell tower too, they could try and go for that exchange and just like trade back and forth. But that's not really possible for them right now, especially with Abla and Leo just slowing this down and trying to take the pumpkins apart. But they're moving down to the bottom now in an attempt to reclaim it or at least start poking against it with Ultralisk. But it's definitely not going to be easy. Storm Talons are also in for Team QuackNiix. That makes things worse. And let's not forget, if Rega isn't around for that cleanse, that temporal loop brings you back in the fight and allows them an easy kill. But at least it's 5 versus 5 against now.
Good point. Well, now it's all about that slow burn of taking that fort back. Quack will go ahead and start the channel, and that will be an additional 5 shots for his team. Setting Team HasuObs down to 15 points on their core. Now, 20 does connect. And it looks like Hasu wants to move in with all 5 as the call has been called. Misha steps up and looks over at ETC. No engage though as they back up and go middle instead.
I mean, it's really important, I think, for QuackNiix and his boys to win this one now, because if they lose here, then it's, I mean, you have to win 3 in a row to make it happen, you know, and you come back, you come into the next game losing 3 matches one after another after initially you held the lead thanks to the winner bracket advantage. So just from a motivational perspective, it feels like you need to make this one work, and they are just fighting tooth and nail to get it done. So huge respect to them, and they have the better position now thanks to the setup at the bottom of the map.
Dancing around the boss, Greymane set up for the flank. You can see here down the bottom left. They're waiting for Li Ming or Sergeant Hammer to overstep. Maybe that level 7 gets used on Sergeant Hammer, or maybe Li Ming teleports in. But nothing really unfolds, so they'll go back to dealing with the sappers, as the sappers do get pulled on up. Greymane should be able to jump on those, especially once they see that the boss is being grabbed. And there it is, it's been scouted. Leo knows the boss is at 50%. Can the red team get here in time?
I don't think so. Greymane is way too far away. I mean, he's making his way in, but the team has to start the fight before that if they really want to have a chance here. Greymane arrives, but it's already taken. BFG is out. The blessed shield there going immediately for Leo. He doesn't have no chance. ETC slides out, but that's 4 shots fired, and it's a kill. And they carry that momentum through their top lane. They're going straight through that bell tower like hot butter through cheese.
Hot butter through cheese, and the fort's going down. It's feasting time. Is it Thanksgiving? The fort is taken away. Sergeant Hammer, I gotta call out HasuObs, man. HasuObs steps up in siege mode and just barely gets in just enough to hit that pixel on that knockback to make sure that ETC could not take over that control point after Johanna had used Iron Skin. Beautiful boss play as they take it back, and meanwhile the minions have already done damage to the fort on the bottom left, and they can look to grab it back.
Yeah, they're gonna try and take it right now. Another 4 shots get fired. They didn't fight over the top right, but now we have 11 points on the core against only 4 remaining ones for Team QuackNiix, and that bell tower down here is going to be taken back. If not now, then in a few seconds. There's another combo from Li Ming, but the Entomb, the Buried Alive, they try to turn it here. Can they actually pull it off? It doesn't look like it. HasuObs with all the capacitors is still firing away. Volley after volley. X-Ray gets out too, and they all survive. Bottom bell tower is nearly reclaimed. They can easily tap at the fountain and then re-engage into the battle. It is absolutely crazy at this point. Team QuackNiix, they want the tie in this, but Team HasuObs is looking to secure another win, looking to secure a big lead in this best of 7.
Slowly but surely, gonna grab this back. That fort, you just need to blow on a little kissy kiss. Mwah. Just a nice little smooch. Hit that fort. Come on, someone walk. Oh, you know what? The minion will do it. There's a little kiss. It is taken back. And there you go. Finally, the blue team has gotten control of the map back. Greymane's gonna work on the top right, but with the ultras being in the bottom, all the actions that come down to the last team fight.
And the next double altar. If you sneak one in, you win. It's a 5 versus 3. I mean, top lane is of course going to be taken back, but for Team QuackNiix, it's a dire situation because they have to take both. They can't lose a single one of these altars. If they don't win the team fight, then it's just simply lights out. All the Team HasuObs needs is a single channel, and they got it.
All right, let's see how they're gonna do this. If anything, it might be Lucio to be the one that delays the bottom. Maybe looks for that channel. The rest of the team moves up and just focuses on wherever Sergeant Hammer is. Sergeant Hammer currently places herself right in the middle of all the action. Leo does have a flank available to the top right, but Rexar is keeping an eye on him.
HasuObs is, of course, looking to get the damage out. 66,000 overall for him, 105,000 for Chromie. They're looking towards the bottom now. Misha is still controlling up at the top, making sure that the middle also doesn't get channeled yet either. There's the Bloodlusters. They're starting to move in, and ETC gets them barely out of there. BFG even hitting him too, but Lucio already using his own rule to keep the boys alive. And this is a disaster for QuackNiix. Maybe the turnaround against Jojo. No, X-Ray survives. They try to channel the interrupt, and can they get the kill in the mosh pit? And the kill against ETC, but Hammer is down. Greymane moves in and takes Slimming apart. Rega comes in with a kill. What's going on here?
You love a good butt bite. Banana's looking for more. Banana finds a kill. Is Banana actually the carry? He turns around, looks over at Lucio. Lucio's trying to escape, but that puppy is coming for you, and that puppy's got a bite. There's another one. Johanna finally taps off, turns around. It's a full-out brawl. Welcome to Brawls of the Storm, Khaldor.
Rega's moving top. Rega's moving top. He was thinking about going for the altar. Instead, he's trying to go for the bite right now. They're going for... Oh, Leo. He can't get away. He's trying to get the next one through. He uses the ult, but it's just not enough. Yasuo is rushing all over the place. People are still dead, dying everywhere, but the kill against Leo should have finally seen the deal here. Lucio's in trouble. Lucio, and he is still alive. Rega, the support battle between the two, but the channel is happening. Max Passion is about to make it work. The upper interrupt against Jojo, and this is the channel. This is the game. This is a big lead for Team Hasu as they take a 3-1 lead against Team QuackNiix in the best of 7. Alright guys, that could be the last map actually. Team Hasu with a big lead right now. 3-1 against Team QuackNiix. They won 3 maps in a row. And actually the more surprising part is, or the more impressive part is, they did not lose a map today. They 2-0'd in the first series of the day, which was still the last final best of 3. They played against Team Zelia there. Then they had a 3-0 victory against Team Marke, and now they are... I mean, technically it's a 3-1, but they are 3-0 in map wins against Team QuackNiix. So a pretty bonkers setup, and Tomb of the Spider Queen, and it could therefore be the last map in this particular grand final. It's kind of insane.
It is. And hopefully we get more games. So, Team Quack, here's a little pep talk, alright? You're all good at the video game. You all have buttons on your keyboard. I know it. I've seen them. I've heard them. So do me a favor and hit those buttons at the right time to beat the opposing team. You got this. Drink some game fuel if you have to. Put some Cheetos in your mouth. I don't care. Whatever powers you up. Let's fucking go. Turn it up. Give me more games. Arigato.
Actually, support focus now. Ana banned against Banana and Rega taken. So they try to limit the options here a little bit and see if he can actually go on other stuff too. ETC therefore gets still played. X-Ray gets his frontliner, and Greymane gets locked in by Ultralisk. So this time QuackNiix has to move away. Now one of his fallback options has been Sylvanas. That's another one that he could take. And Jimmy. Those are the two. And Jimmy it is in this game. Plus also the wave clear through Johanna and her Kodem, plus the Eternal Retaliation. Okay. Do they ban out Hammer on this map though? It's a map where I've seen Hasu play Hammer once or twice, but it's not really his typical Hammer map. And we still need a mage for them, I feel. We need something that has a little bit more wave flick. Greymane alone just doesn't do it here.
I feel like I'd prefer to see Hasu on Junkrat for this map. Just poking around the turn end point, helps out with the damage, can drop a Rip Tire when Greymane goes in.
With ETC too, right?
Yeah, I think it'd be really perfect here. And it's a hero that he excels at, right? Like, which hero does he not excel at?
I mean, you can always just like switch over someone else and get him on this, but yeah, Junkrat is actually a hero that we've seen here so much also because of these annoying interrupts whenever you want to turn in. But a big slide from ETC coming quickly through, and then the mine afterwards, moving the targeting. That's a great setup for them. I guess there is a good chance that we're going to see Malfurion as a support here too, so that would be a root on the ground. There's the Ultralisk ban. So they are just making sure that Maiev is not going to ruin them again like she did in the first 2 games.
Good call. Also makes me wonder if they're going to have a little bit of a diver character here, right? Like, is there any Genji / Tracer players
I mean, there's a Junkrat. We get Tracer, Marker-play Tracer actually. When you look at Tai on some of the other teams, Tai has played Tracer. Genji very rarely played. We had one game with Genji in this tournament, and it was Genji Zeratul. They were really trying to be super aggressive, and they got absolutely bodied. It was Team Lauber. They got heavily bodied. They went 0-8 in group stage and playoffs, so it was rough. They didn't win a single map.
Okay, moment of truth. 4th and 5th pick. What's coming out here? Leoric, damage dealer, some kind of wave clear, Jaina, Kel'Thas, Hanzo, actually. Okay.
I'm also pretty sure that Stormgoda would have locked in Junkrat if they gave him an opportunity to do that, but yeah, Hazu picked it first, and now we still need the side laner for them. So a couple of options obviously left. Could still go into Blaze if they wanted to. Haven't really seen a lot of Malthael just recently here, but a good setup around Blaze would definitely be possible. I would usually say Rexa, but he has been banned very quickly, even in the first rotation because of that. And there's of course still Chen left too, so it's Pana time, ladies. Yeah, game number 4. Here we go. Might be the final map in the series. Let's see if Team QuackNiix can come back or if Team Hasu seals the deal here and crowns themselves the champion as we are jumping into Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game on! It might be the final map of the series. The score is 3-1, and all that Team HasuObs need is another map win to crown themselves the champion of the first in-house tournament. On the left side, in blue, we have X-Ray on ETC, Banana H on Malfurion, Max Passion on Chen, HasuObs on Junkrat, and Ultralisk on Greymane. And on the right side of the map, Skok on Johanna, we have QuackNiix on Reyna, Abla on Leoric, Svamgrotta on Hanzo, and Yasu is playing Rega. More Bloodlust, more win talents as usual. In this case, with all of the auto attack, we have the Block Party, we have Exterminator, and we're good to go. Can they do it? Is it going to be the 4-1 victory for Team HasuObs, or is Team QuackNiix fighting back in this, Tim?
Man, first off, I hope QuackNiix and them will turn it around, but hang on, fight right away. And, oof! Big oof! Oofinator coming in on Hanzo.
Holy hell, he got screwed in that. Slide, Junkrat mine, bam, killed in the middle of the flip. That was a quick kill. Insta-kill.
I was going to ask you, what is the determining factor that's made Raynor start going for Exterminator? But honestly, I don't care at this point, because Hanzo got bodied. I mean, that was a good start. It was great.
Pretty much when Blizzard started to all of a sudden come in and buff Exterminator and Ace on Hole completely over the moon, you just saw Ace in the Hole taken all the time, but then they nerfed it again, but they left Exterminator, and all of a sudden with the extra damage through Inspire too, it's just a better talent to take in nearly every situation right now. Initially they were still playing around with both talents depending on the map, and you saw Exterminator only claimed on Battlefield of Eternity. But the thing is, it's not really only good against mercenary camps, but it's also good at pretty much every objective that spawns, you get mad value out of it. So it's not really worth it anymore to go into Ace in the Hole in most scenarios. It depends a little bit on the lineup that you play and what you're attempting to do with it. But these days, it's Exterminator, Exterminator, and Exterminator. If you are on the defense and you're trying to take Web Weavers down or camps, it's just fantastic.
Awesome, yeah, it's good to see, because I remember when it was a discussion back on the BOE days, when we were like, maybe Raynor Exterminator could be a thing, and it never really took off, kind of similar like the Arcanist amateur opponent. So it's cool to see it being used. I was just wondering what the threshold was that broke
it was never worth it. Honestly, up to that point where they buffed both the talents, even when they buffed both of them, it was totally not worth it. You got more value out of your Ace in the Hole. But then they reduced the Ace in the Hole value, kept Exterminator as it was, and then it just completely flipped, and everybody was just like, alright, so at this point, I'm getting so much value out of that talent. It's definitely worth keeping it. So yeah, they experimented with it a couple of times, and they have these weird things. I don't really know, but these days Blizzard, they either make a patch where there is a change that is so ridiculous that I'm just like, are you guys on drugs? And I mean, I know that weed is legal in California right now, but they're overdoing it slightly. Or
and they deliver.
Or they come in and deliver completely. Yeah, so it's really weird. I mean, that buff that they gave Nazeebo with a 20% spell power on level 1, it's just like, are you guys high? Like, who thought that was a great idea or that was balanced in any way? Let's give the safe play talent on level 1 and an extra 20% spell damage. What could go wrong? So, it's strange. But right now, it's Exterminator pretty much on every single map.
Interesting. Okay, well, good to know. 4 levels later, thank you, Khaldor, for that full explanation. Now I may have to pick Raynor and play Exterminator myself at some point in the future. We have 38 gems for a turn-in available for the blue team, and they might just be able to get in there. They're going to be the 5 off, but automatically looking to try and get this first turn in. And there's going to be Banana going for the channel. Will Hanzo be able to get the delay? He gets it.
Yeah, there we go. Web Weavers are in, and that would be an early setback if they could get more than just a couple of towers over here. So right now, level 4 talents in. Actually, in this case, also no Broccoli, but the Strangling Vines instead. So trying to...
No Broccoli?
Yeah, no Broccoli over here. It's a little bit disappointing. It's a no stacking process, but still a bit more control that they have with that. Also when they make the attack. Yeah, still poking it out. And Hasu is having a lot of fun. But we seem to have these problems again. Yeah, sorry guys for all the interrupts right now, but I think we can really chalk this one up to good old Corona, because especially the German internet seems, I mean, at the best of days, it's always a little bit embarrassing to admit what kind of internet connection you have when you're from Germany, unless you live in one of the hotspots. But outside of the good times, when we're living in the times of Corona and lockdowns and everybody jumping onto the internet in the evening, then it becomes pretty nasty very quickly. So Hasu, we'll have to slow that down, but the pause couldn't have come at a more interesting moment, because we literally just now see the Web Weavers descending on the map.
Honestly, I think it's chat's fault. They keep spamming 3-2-3, and it's just overlapping my laptop right now, and it just can't deal with all this lag that chat is creating, and it's affecting the players. So guys, stop spamming 3-2-3. You are ruining esports right now. It's all your fault, chat.
Great. Set them up even more, because that's what we really need here.
They're going to ruin it for all of us. I can't believe they would do this. Bible thump.
But coming back to your point, by the way, for a second, if you're trying Jimmy out with Exterminator, make sure when you're on Battlefield of Eternity that you do it. And if you're on any boss map, then use it there. It's nuts. It's honestly nuts. The damage output that he has is so crazy with it. And he can pretty much contest alone the Immortal on Battlefield of Eternity when the other team is sending multiple heroes over to try and race you. And you're still winning if you get the Inspire set up completely through. And on bosses, he's great as well. So, yeah, on these maps, it's a bit of a different thought process behind it. But it's still pretty bonkers. But we're back to business. And, well, it's time for the Web Weavers.
It sounds really good, but that means I wouldn't be able to pick Artanis, who has immature opponent. Oh my gosh, big push in the bottom lane.
I hate you.
Oh my god, he's so good. He's so good. Big damage here on the bottom lane already. They're looking to bring in a tower, but Johanna's coming in for a flanky flank. Will he be able to do anything? It's going to be a condemn into a root. Did not work out, but at least he cleaned it up.
And they got the entire wall here. So they got the wall on the bot lane at the top. They broke through the gate. Honestly, this isn't too bad. With the Web Weavers now and the changes in the towers, you very rarely walk away with more than a few towers destroyed and walls opened up. If you get a 4, that's crazy. That's really good. Whereas previously, I don't want to say it was the norm, but we've seen it quite often. So right now, the question is simply, can they still hold on to the spot? Is Team QuackNiix going to move in and try and take it here? They have the gems that they need to make it happen as well. But of course, they have only turned in 32 so far, so another 18 are missing before they can get their own objective pushing through the map.
We'll see if they'll be able to sneak it here. Speaking of sneaking, Grayman ran to the bottom of the map and is looking to grab those giants. And that's actually a good spot to grab them Mercenary Camp, because they did open up the turrets earlier, which will force the red team to back up and defend that. If they do, that should slow them down from being able to get defense.
Arbla in trouble. They dive deep even into those forts, and they get the kill against Leo. And that's gems lost. Not a crazy amount, but that definitely puts a little bit damper on their ambitions here. And now he has, of course, to wait until he respawns in order to deal with the bottom siege giant camp. So that's next. Even Johanna is rotating now over to help out because she simply has to, so that they're not losing too much. And that buys more time for Team HasuObs to get additional gems and turn them in, because they're getting closer and closer to maybe locking in another turn-in for themselves. They don't have the gems yet, but they're working on it.
Yep, that was definitely the most painful part about it. Johanna happened to go to the bottom lane, which completely stopped the red team from getting a turn-in, which is going to mean that that fabled double turn-in that we love so much on Tomb of Spider Queen is now possible for the blue team, as they have farmed just enough gems. 3 in the bottom lane now to try and stop this push coming in from Chen, Malfurion, and Greymane, which allows for Junkrat to drop off a couple of his gems.
Yeah, and we are actually looking at 50 gems in total for the blue team, so another 5, and they can try and make it happen. So I'm actually really interested if Team QuackNiix is able to get their Webweaver soon. There it is. Okay, so they make it happen. They get the level 10. Hyperion is in for the push and the zoning. Bloodlust is also getting locked in immediately. And we have the top keg plays. He actually went for it. Nice.
Wandering Keg. Good against Jimmy if you can get behind him, because he has no mobility available to him. Even Hanzo to a degree if you can keep him locked in. But yeah, you normally see that Storm Within Fire, but hey, we're getting a barrel of fun.
Yeah, we actually had we had a time where Top Cake was the play to make, but now it has fallen off again and we're seeing more Storm Earth and Fire. I guess against Bloodlust you can create a bit of space here. What is ETC doing? X-Ray committing Sudoku here in the middle of the map. Goes down, stays way too aggressive, and they follow up with another kill against Banana H. You can't give QuackNiix and his boys an opportunity like that. They capitalize on it immediately. Quick double kill and the fort is down, and that is starting to be a massive setback for Team HasuObs.
It's going to be the first fort of the game. Good news is it will be the middle lane, which is usually the easiest to defend, as you'll be rotating between that lane no matter what you're doing, so all you gotta do is get some wave clear in. But still, a big play here for Team QuackNiix, and something that we've been needing for them. For the first time in this series, they have gotten a lead in macro, and they have a second turn-in available to them. Can they get it?
I mean, that was a really important setup, and X-Ray was struggling there, so now with a quick double kill, there's of course the second turn-in, as you said, but the blue team has enough gems to make it happen for themselves, but they have to fight for the point first. Rega is coming in, the top lane by the way. Greymane has turned in now as well, but X-Ray gets again entombed. Here's the top keg play. They're trying to push actually Skok back out, trying to create some space, and there's the kill against ETC again. They are hungry, they're going for the beef and they're getting it. It's time for some burgers. And ETC is not the only one that dies. Chen falls to Banana H, tries to at least recover most of the gems, and he gets them. But oh my god, QuackNiix's team, they turned up the heat.
They really did. Now, on one hand, we didn't really have much damage coming in from Greymane not jumping on the backline, because ETC did survive there for a long time. At some point, there is going to be a bit of a switch here when it comes to the fights, where Greymane should be looking to get aggressive if ETC gets caught out like that again. But it seems like the call was, hey guys, just back up. We can defend this if we lose ETC. So it does feel like Team HasuObs kind of expected to lose ETC there, but they can't really afford too many more of those.
Yeah, and the Web Weavers are coming down again, so now there's a level 13 advantage in the hands of Team QuackNiix, and I mean, Team HasuObs has to stop the bleeding here at some point. Right now they're kind of suffering. The first step has to be to get the experience for level 13. Trying to defend the bot lane is already the first step into that direction, but there's likely another fort falling topside because they just don't have the numbers here right now to defend it. And yeah. Chen has to move back.
Both Junkrat and Greymane are on the bottom lane, and that's most of their defense. In fact, I would say it's all of their defense, besides from Malfurion's Moonfire, but what are you going to do with that when it comes to clearing? So yeah, that's going to be a slow rotation from Greymane and Junkrat, maybe some miscommunication going there, and Team QuackNiix is taking full advantage of it. Pushing top lane, there's a Hyperion, they have Leo in the front, in case they need to drop down Entomb, just in case anyone engages. Great textbook play by them.
It's still a level, I mean, it's only a level lead if you think about it, but the two forts that have been destroyed is probably the biggest problem with all of this. So there is definitely a macro advantage now and a map control advantage for Team QuackNiix. Then again, if you think about it, it's nothing a good team fight can't solve. So HasuObs and his team, they aren't out of this yet. With the even talent that they are now running, if they find a good angle, they can make it work, and they still have the gems for another Web Weaver wave, so there's definitely some possible momentum in their hands.
Now, on the other side for Team QuackNiix, they're going to start focusing on who exactly has all the gems, because there's a total of 62 here. And we have seen comebacks in the past where over 100 gems have been collected, and then turn after turn after turn, and usually nets you a victory. The one way to stop that, of course, is to kill the targets that have the gems and then zone them out of it. One of the targets that has a lot of gems right now is Banana, with 21 on his Malfurion. Now, it's a bit hard to get to, because Malfurion usually positions on the backside, but that is a goal here for Team QuackNiix as they continue to run the map.
Yeah, camps have now they claimed some camps again. Blue Web Weavers are descending, so they actually got it. And they get it at a good moment in time too, because now they have an opportunity to push before level 16 talents are ready. That should just happen. Yeah, down here, Greymane gets entombed. They're trying to go for the counter aggression. Where's the attack? And yeah, they step back. Not really enough to go in for the power slide, but that was a nice bait actually by Ultralist. There's just all like, stay there, we got you, bro. But now they have to make sure that they're taking some structures, and they have to take them quickly. Level 16 Tillans will be there for Team QuackNiix soon enough, and you need to at least take a fort now.
Yeah, they're gonna get it. They have a giant camp pushing with this as well. Webweaver about to use its push here. There it is. So there goes the fort. They'll be inching towards that level at 16, but do need to be careful with their opponents having an advantage in heroics or in talents. Also, Hyperion will help defend that bottom lane too. They're gonna go ahead and rotate to the middle instead and try to open up the map a bit.
Yeah, they should be able to actually open this quite a lot, but Jimmy is already at the bottom of the map for the defense, trying to take the Webweaver down and putting that Exterminator talent we talked about earlier to some good use. Taking it down pretty quickly. Still decent damage against the towers. One of them might actually even fall, and yes, so one destroyed. So that at least helps. And they have another turn-in. They actually got another turn-in. Both teams can turn in at this point. And this is what you were talking about earlier, actually. If you hold those gems, it's always your ticket back into the game.
Will they be able to punch the ticket, though, Khaldor? That's always the question. Leo on the top gets the Drain Hope off, but 16 finally connects for our blue team, and they are dancing in the middle of the map here. Just one small misstep and a fight can unfold. Chin moves in, gets a flying leap. Johanna turns around. There's the Entomb. Where's the Blessed Shield? It goes out.
Johanna nearly dying, and that's the Riptire trying to take her, and that's the kill. Perfectly executed by Junkrat. Nicely done. X-Ray is low. He's trying to get out, and he actually escapes, barely getting out. And instead, Leo might even fall if the grenades are connecting with him. He's still able to make his way out, but now we have the full-on turn-in potential for the blue team. They got the opportunity. They're even trying to go for Rhaegar there for a second, but that's a zone out. Banana Age gets interrupted once, but this is all that they can do. They just don't have the time anymore or the space to move in again to stop this. 22 gems turned in, 51 still available. And especially Max Passion needs to get rid of his gems, but he's not the only one. Ultralisk is holding 19, X-Ray 14, and they've all been busy at the camp, but now they're focusing their attention onto the Burnham turning point.
Yeah, but I like that you mentioned that night camp there. They're looking for a really hard push right at the gut here of Team QuackNiix as they go for the turn-in now with the night camp in the middle lane, and they should try to bolster this out, using that spell armor to their advantage to help out with this push. Let's see how much damage they can get done here as they'll be looking at our second push, or third push of the turn, or of this game.
And they pretty much closed the gap in experience. I mean, it's not quite there yet, but it will be in just a few. And with the kill against Johanna, they also eliminated around 20 gems of the red team, so that was hugely important. Big defense in the middle though, dropping the Hyperion, dropping everything just so that they're ready for the first Webweaver, burn it down as quickly as they can. But the shift has already happened towards the top lane, where they're now trying to ensure that another fort falls. Bot lane, not going to be a problem anytime soon. Jimmy's still sitting mid-side to take the Webweaver down, but up here at the top, there's nothing they can do about it. This one is a goner.
Yeah, there it goes. Bottom lane's also pushing in during all this as well, so there needs to be a decision here from Team HasuObs. What do they want to do? Ooh, notice there is a trap thrown on top of that boss on top left corner. Kind of insinuating there that HasuObs and crew might go for a boss they find a pick on this push. Speaking of a pick, Johanna goes down to half HP while they continue to siege on top of this fort.
And as long as they're sieging here, the bot lane is still pushing freely out, and that's a keep that is getting attacked there. Quack makes the rotation, but the gate has fallen, the wall is also taking damage, and so this entire posturing in the middle has forced a lot of the resources of Team QuackNiix to be focused in the mid lane for the defense, and it results with the bottom keep taking some serious damage.
It was all a setup here, too. They made sure to push at the top, pushed in the middle, forced them to clear the top of the middle so they would have to go to the bottom lane and clear out that Webweaver, and they would just go straight for a boss push. Now, Leo gets sense of it and rotates over to try and scout it out, and once he realizes that, the blue team is going to go ahead and back up, but I love the setup there from Team Hasu.
Yeah, they're trying to be a little bit cheeky around it, but here comes the Entomb. Bloodlust is being used too, and that's actually a Jojo, careful! Oh my god, that blessed shield couldn't have come half a second later, or she would have been dead.
Oof. Survive,
the Iron Skin. Blessed shield actually not used in this one, but yeah, that was clutch.
Both very important, and I ask people like, oh, but hang on here! Chin goes in, here comes an arrow, it's gonna hit on Chin, but at the last second, Hanzo tried to time it out, but wasn't able to hit it before that unstoppable duration did expire.
It's getting close again. One gem is missing for another turn-in, by the way. A single gem is all that they need. And QuackNiix is going to be able to push. And they are actually now a level ahead. So all of a sudden, we're looking at them nearly having level 20. And if they can turn in and have level 20 pushing with them at the same time, that would be the dream right now.
Okay. Red turn in. Perfect timing, too. As you mentioned, that one gem was dropped off. The 20 about to hit. they can sync all this up together to go for a massive push and at least try to get keeps, and if they find a couple of kills, could even maybe look at a core, depending on how strong their push is. Team HasuObs is going to have to hold their ground and hold it to the best of their ability without getting picked off.
This is not going to be easy. They really have to use the new tower mechanics to their fullest extent in order to make that work. One good buried alive. If you lose heroes now, if you lose gems, you're just toast. Max Passion should not stand there either. There's the early Hyperion. They want to break through, and they're immediately targeting that key. Bot lane Fort is going to fall. That's a given. That's not going to change anymore. The question is, how much can they actually hold? Can they hold that keep? Can they at least hold the one at the top? They're going to try, but it seems like Team QuackNiix is at least going to get this one. I mean, there's already the buried alive. Perfect timing. Bloodlust is in as well. The immediate ult on Malfurion, and they're actually pushing it back, but the keep is down.
Oh, Malfurion oversteps, so he moves up to keep the tranquility going for his team, and he'll actually get picked off. Banana making a mistake, something we don't normally see from him too much. Now they will hold back their opponents, but Malfurion has been picked off, and there is still a web weaver push in the bottom. And you look over to the red team, and they are posturing for a boss play.
Yeah, can they actually go for that? I mean, they are trying apparently. And blue team is still at the bottom of the map. We have two still a bit close, more of a trap than anything else right now. They will go for it. You can actually see that HasuObs is even delaying it slightly. He's even waiting for the rest of the team because they are trying to bring Malfurion back. But I think they might have to let this one slide. They are posturing around top. Max Passion, of course, in theory, has the keg, but they couldn't buy enough time for Malfurion to come back. This is a 5 versus 4 with 20 versus 20. There's the buried alive already used. They're trying to go for the move. They're actually trying to commit here. They're really going to make that happen. There's the keg play. They're kegging it out. ETC with the motion. They're going for it. A 4 versus 5. They're looking for the kills, and they can't get them. I don't think so. ETC is low. He might die, but the first one to fall is Chen, and this is looking like a disaster. The boss is taken. The arrow kill against ETC, and Greymane is down. This has to be the lights out moment right here.
It certainly has to be, but I have to ask, oh, but why? They went for it, but why? Tranquility comes out, and Junkrat's trying to stay alive here. He's gonna die and drop down a couple of bombs, but it won't be enough. Now Furion spawns up, but he's gonna go straight back to the death screen. Nice gray screen you got there, bud. As the rest of the team is gonna push in the top lane, and Team QuackNiix will fight back and look to be able to start trying to win this best of 7 series. QuackNiix and crew have found their light, but will it be enough for them to shut down this German team who have a number of wins already? I guess we'll have to find out as the core continues to fall. There it is. Boom! First victory coming in for Team QuackNiix.
Game on, everybody! HasuObs against Team QuackNiix, and we are heading into the next game. It seems like QuackNiix and his boys, I mean, I don't want to say have woken up. The guys were awake for quite some time now, but they finally found the angle. There were a couple of mistakes they could exploit on the other side, and all of a sudden, they put another point onto the scoreboard for themselves. We're heading into Infernal Shrines, and this is where Hasu and his team have another opportunity to crown themselves the champion, or Team QuackNiix is going to be able to win another one and force the final map in the best of 7 series. So let's find out together. Infernal Shrines, the map with the bans initially on Deathwing and on Zul.
Man, just let the dragon go through once. You buttheads. Just once. He's one of my favorite characters now. I think I actually like Deathwing more than Ragnaros.
Okay. That's a statement.
I like playing him.
More
but
than
I play the
Loverwave?
ranged. I play the ranged Deathwing.
Okay,
Yeah,
Deathwing
more
over
Loverwave.
Ragnaros. That's actually interesting.
Although, with these tower changes, I don't know if I like him as much, because I like going the resets on forts whenever you play Cataclysm, and then you get a reset on it. But now, if you dive into a fort and you do any damage whatsoever, you eat 14 shots before you fly again, because the abilities take forever. So I feel like maybe I don't like him anymore. I don't know. It's still up in the air, but initial thoughts is I still like dragons, you know?
Yeah. That's also why you don't pick Chromie, because she's a fake dragon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a fake dragon.
Exactly.
She's been reworked too many times.
Okay, Rhaegar gets banned, Ana gets picked, and there's the Greymane. No Tyrael yet, with the bloodlust-less composition that we're now going to see on either side. Tyrael might still make his way in. The Sanctification is still fantastic when you're fighting on the Shrine, but let's see. We have Mage potential. Is it going to be a Jaina? If anything, I would actually expect the Jaina to be taken as the Mage. I mean, to be fair, They also play the Gul'dan, but Jaina for the burst damage would actually be super solid. ETC and Greymane on the other side. Okay, first of all, their wave clear is in. Leo is in their house, and so is Jojo. So good setup for the blue team, and no matter what gets banned and picked now on the mage end from Team QuackNiix, there will be a good hero to take to combo off with Ana. And also, Banana H has already shown that his Eye of Horus plays can definitely make up for the missing nano boost if there's no mage to really combo off with.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what they're gonna ban here. Like, smart ban would be ban Jaina here. Okay, there's a smart ban. Because Li Ming has a bit more trouble on shrines with the minions being in the way. She's not able to land her combos as effectively. Still good, obviously, with an Ana, but Jaina would definitely be much more preferred if they were gonna go that mage route that you were talking about. Looking over to our blue team, is Ethereal banned now? Oh no, they have an ETC. Let's say Ethereal Greymane was kind of scary earlier.
Yeah, I think they can either ban the support out now, if they want to, for example, not deal with Malfurion and the roots on the ground. Lucio instead. Sound barrier setups can be super annoying too if played correctly. We see Lucio a little bit more. A good sound barrier can definitely do a lot for you. And the quick rotations between lanes, if you have Greymane on your setup, help, of course. And you can retreat with ETC. It's just sliding back out, making sure that he creates enough space for the rest of the team to escape with his face melt. So that setup can be dangerous. And QuackNiix has shown that he is great still at those calls, the macro calls. So I think that's one of the reasons why they're banning this out, just denying it. But there's Swamgrota this time with his own Medivh, and we have Malthael as well for the Shrine Fights. Okay, it just became spicy. They're gonna try and give Team HasuObs a taste of their own medicine.
Wow. This series has started to really devolve into blow up the tank on the opposing side, and that is no different here for the red team. Greymane quick propel it straight into a last right, pick off the target, and then get out, skedaddle away with the portal. Wonderful high execution type of strategy that you can pull off, and we'll see if they're gonna be able to pull it here as we have Sergeant Hammer and Junkrat for our 4th and 5th pick.
Yes, and honestly, when will people learn their lesson here? Don't give the Germans the tanks. That never goes well. That lesson was learned a long time ago, and apparently it still hasn't really connected with the boys in red over here. They lost one game against Sergeant Hammer already, and now we're heading into the next one. So can Stukov maybe make it happen? They pick him as the support here. It's gonna be tough. Again, Hasu on Hammer is just brutal. You have also so many heroes that can really keep him alive. Peel for him. Junkrat, Jojo, Leo. Is it the last map? Are we gonna see QuackNiix and his boys win another one? We're gonna find out now on Infernal Shrines. Infernal Shrines, and here we go. Another opportunity for Team HasuObs to crown themselves the champion of the first in-house league. On the left side, HasuObs on Sergeant Hammer. We have Ultralisk on Junkrat, Banana on Ana, and X-Ray on Johanna with Max Passion on Leoric. The blue team, fantastic tournament from them so far. Fantastic series also today, but they lost just now on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Team QuackNiix is looking for another victory. On the right side, Swamgrota on Medivh, QuackNiix on Greymane, Abla on Malthael, Skog on ETC, and last but not least, Yasu on Stukov. Let's go, ladies.
Every time the blue team sends Sergeant Hammer to the bottom, and then she flanks in or catches them on the rotation. I wonder if the red team has caught on to this yet. We do have Team Hasu just playing it slow. They realize that red team wants to wave clear first, and they just let them. They don't mind too much. They got Johanna. Silence comes out. There's an Iron Skin. Junkrat nade knocks ETC into a turret, but he'll be just fine with the portal as well as a Force of Will.
We've seen previously, especially in the loser bracket final, how impactful a good Medivh player can really be for his team, and Swamgrota really is the one that they have to look towards now. Every single time QuackNiix engages, every single time that he might dive in a little bit too deep, and when we have attacks from Team HasuObs, he's the one to have to portal them in, portal them out, make sure that the shield is ready, and leyline setups in the mid and late game are going to be incredibly important. But can he pull it off, or is Team Hasu going to play around the portal control? Because we have quite a bit of that. The mine on Junkrat alone is fantastic if you want to control the portal movements of the other side.
Yeah, I mean, a good Medivh changes the way you look at this game, and a bad Medivh will just ruin the game for you. I mean, we remember ADRD, right? Like, does ADRD still play? I just remember his team comps being built around Medivh's, and it got to a point where it was literally a first ban all the time. Medivh is just one of those characters that can change the dynamic, and you got to make sure that you as a team are on board with that Medivh. If one of you are not, it will fall apart.
I was just like laughing when you said like a good Medivh will change the way you look at the game, because a bad Medivh will do that too, just in a very different reaction.
You just might be a negative, salty boy, and it'll be warranted. But yes, they'll ruin it for you.
You trust your Medivh, you take that portal and it leads you straight into like 3 towers or something.
You die and you look up and that Medivh flew across the map to the top lane. And you're like, ah, he starts attacking the well, and you're like, this game's over.
Talking about dying, the aspect of death is doing a lot of that dying again in the early game. So that's literally first blood against Malthael as he falls. And yeah, now we have camps taken. Bot lane, first of all. That's where the first Khaldor camp was taken. HasuObs is currently just sitting tight doing his thing. Siege tactics now as well. And off we go. Jojo helping out. Definitely needs to. 2 shaman camps, top left, top right. Currently getting claimed too, and here is the first shrine activating. But again, the problem that we had also on other maps, as long as Sergeant Hammer doesn't have her level 7, she is in a very vulnerable spot.
Camps grab for both of our teams. There will be a delay here for our red team. I like this. Usually waiting to about 15 seconds for the shrine to activate allows for you to get lane priority, and they'll have Malthael to ensure that as Malthael heads to the top lane. So if that is left uncontested by the blue team, it could theoretically take out that fort. But the answer, or the question is, what exactly is blue team going to do about this shrine? It is going to be an Arcane Punisher, and they are setting up camp already as Sergeant Hammer sets up and sieges in.
And they actually held this position quite nicely, but look at what QuackNiix is doing. They actually go for these macro plays that we've been highlighting a bit previously with those calls, and Junkrat is the one rotating topside. They are just simply trying to get as much damage as they can, give up the Punisher, and then not lose too much on the defense. And that's where Ultralis comes into play, trying to slow them down. They can't lose more than the wall here, because it's kind of unlikely that the Punisher bot side is going to get much more than that. Even with, well, with Sergeant Hammer maybe. But here's the level 7 talent now, so HasuObs can actually put it to some good use. But it's already level 7 versus level 7, and the wall should fall, and Hammer is working on it.
There goes the first turret. There's a gate, but a portal in, straight on top of Banana. Banana turns around and says, I'm sorry, what are you doing? Sleep dart to the face and an auto attack. That push completely got stopped, and now HasuObs gets some damage on the fort.
Yeah, so it's after all is said is done, after the dust settles, when it comes to structures, it's a lead. It's actually a lead for Team Hasu. It's not a big one. If they can get the fountain, that would be fantastic. But they lost much at the top. Now they have to rotate Leo between the lanes, as does Malthael. But down here, it's still a slide, and he moves away. And Banana is just sitting tight all the time with one sleep dart after another. So he's doing fantastic here. And here comes another boom, and that could be a kill if not for the shield, but they're pushing him back. ETC. Oh my god. Swamp Grotta with a big save.
That was pretty calculated. Oh my god, I puckered on that one. Oh, it's crazy. ETC almost got picked off. Great portal control, but that is something now that suddenly the red team has to think about, right? You have Junkrat mines that can come out to control your traps. You have sleep darts that have already been a pain in the butt. And on top of that, if you go a little bit too far against RG Hammer, she'll knock you back too.
Yeah, it's just a fantastic setup right now. And we highlighted how impactful, especially Banana H is with his Ana, and it's pretty bonkers. I mean, his sleep dart setups are one of a kind, and he is watching those portals because he knows he's one of the prime targets, right? I mean, what are you trying to do if you're on the red team? You're trying to portal on Johanna and take her down. Instead, we're seeing now the fight over at the bottom of the map, but in the middle, Malthael has actually fallen, so that's the second kill against the aspect of death. Doing a lot of dying over here, practicing apparently. And the red team has to move out. It's a 5 versus 4 as the rotation starts to hit hard. And the Khaldor camp is taken, and we have again the pressure on the bot lane to drop that fort.
I am convinced there are 2 heroes that you cannot give the blue, and that is Ana for Banana and Sergeant Hammer for HasuObs. But let's see if the red team can break it. 10-9 here. Junkrat's in trouble. He's hiding away. There's the jump away from Junkrat, and he is safe.
Yeah, Hasu and his patience, honestly, with his siege tactics and also just simply his siege mode before he moves out. Level 10 by now for both teams. The ley line is in, last rights, mosh pit, the BFG for Hasu. And yeah, it's time to shine, but that fort is down to 50%. Ana hasn't made a choice just yet. Again, we've seen Ioforos for him, so that's something that Banana can definitely take. But this is a clutch game already. Look at Medivh 2. 28 stacks now, and there's the Ioforos.
Okay, Ioforos for cross-map heals and damage as needed. Riptire, BFG as well. Pick one target, try to delete it. But that is the same case here for the red team. Cursed Bullet moved in as well, and then looking over to Malthael, he's picked up the last rights. And on top of that, you got a leyline seal just to make sure your combo is not interfered with. With proper layover of these heroics, red team definitely can get back here. It's all a matter of finding the target and getting the correct execution when they need to engage.
Positioning and how you engage in the fight is now absolutely everything. Don't stack, don't give them opportunity, control ETC. That's super important. The ley line, as you said, is going to be absolutely important. Top lane is the only one pushing, by the way. There was no camp taken on the red team side. That could be a massive problem depending on how long this lasts. There's a nice save. Jojo alive. Last rights didn't do enough here. Riptire comes out. The lead goes currently to the red team. But that's actually simply Junkrat trying to control the fight long enough to buy them a bit more time. ETC is now going to the top, tapping the fountain. But down here the fight continues. The BFG and the kill against Dukov.
Leyline seal as Medivh is going to try and get away. Can he get out of the fight? Nice.
Oh! No!
Oh, no way.
Oh,
no,
the stacks!
He gets picked off. You mentioned it in the fight there, but I want to highlight it once again. The Junkrat Riptire coming out after the combo from the red team connected. He used the Riptire not to blow up and do massive damage, all that would have been nice, but to slow down the poke coming in from the red team. They knew they had 25 seconds after that combo first occurred before Cursed Bullet would be back up again. All they had to do was dissuade them from coming in, and that Riptire bought ample amount of time. They found a target, picked it off, and now they're pushing down the middle lane, straight down the throat of their opponents.
This is brutal, seriously. I mean, Medivh did so much work there, and he nearly escaped too, which was absolutely insane to begin with. I mean, him moving out with 11 hit points in some moment, getting the shield out too, and nearly crossing the gate. But then the kill, and he lost so many stacks there. And now he's reset to 2. They lost the 4. The rotation to the bottom of the map is going to yield another one. This is a huge momentum swing in favor of Team HasuObs now. They're looking great here. That fort is going to be up for grabs whenever they really want it. They can move in with either Junker or Hammer. It doesn't really matter. So a huge structural lead now for Team HasuObs. They're looking fantastic here. And actually, the red team doesn't even have a single kill yet. And he's sniping it.
4-0.
He's actually sniping the fort. Sniped it down as much as he could. And now they're taking the camp. I mean, any kind of grenade set up now against it will take the structure down.
They should be able to pick it off too. They have a camp set up. Medivh will scout it. Here comes Junkrat. Boop, 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 boop. And gets the kill. It will get picked off. ETC now is right above top. Junkrat, did you overstep, bruh? There's a power slide. There's a silence. There's a root. But where's the damage? There's no damage. And Junkrat says, okay, you want to fight? Let's go, bruh. Riptire comes out and does nothing. That's a little keck W, but it happens.
Yeah, you could still YOLO that out. Nice sound effects, by the way. Sound a little bit like Super Mario, but it was pretty cool.
That's my new skin idea for Junkrat.
the one thing that I still want to say is, like, the 13 talents are pretty big for the red team. They have, first of all, the inevitable end. That's going to be great, so that's going to help a lot with the survivability on Malthael. And still the infection on level 13. So having the virulent reaction here is pretty good. We saw it nearly against Junkrat now. As you said, the damage was missing. If not for that, that could have been a kill. If they can get that set up, that would be great. But oh, they actually screwed up the engage against Medivh. That was an opportunity. They kind of messed it up a little bit. Jojo came in with a condemn and actually pushed the target out of the mine radius because of it.
Oh, it's starting to get a little dire here. 2 forts down. Constant pushing coming in. A little catapult pressure as well. Next shrine will be to the south, so that makes it a bit easier for the red team, as they'll be able to clear out mid lane and bottom lane while working on the shrine. But one more fort goes down, and suddenly they don't have wells available. Blue team can play it slow, which they're already doing with Sergeant Hammer, and they'll have the advantage of Defender's advantage with them getting well taps.
Look at the...
That's rough.
Look at the difference in damage. 25,000 for Hammer. 19,000 over here. Oh my god. Iron Skin and the mosh pit into nothingness. Nobody wants to party with ETC. Everybody is social distancing.
That play play, though, screams what's going on in the comms for the red team right now. They're saying, guys, we need a pick. They are getting desperate. They're willing to drop a raw mosh pit on a Johanna. That's how hard they want to kill right now, and they didn't be able to find it, but that should alert the blue team. Okay, all we gotta do, play safe, play slow, play our game, and we should be able to beat them out, because they are close to pure tilt.
Top lane is interesting. QuackNiix is really committing with the camp, and nobody's defending, so they need to counter push bot lane keep if they really want to get something out of this. This is a weird situation, actually. This is a freebie fort right now that they got. So the blue team is getting a punisher for that, but they need to make sure that they're actually going to get value from it. Because this push topside is now heading towards a keep, and they get level 16. So I actually think that the blue team screwed up a little bit in their positioning on the map when this happened.
Leoric, though, can keep all four of these guys here, if he needs to. And that allows for HasuObs to push in. Now, Malthiel's right in the bottom lane defending. Here comes Junkrat to help out with this clear. There's going to be a Medivh portal, but no one can quite follow through with the Junkrat slowing them down. Okay, so it's going to be a wall, a little bit of keep damage, 16 as you mentioned. What's going to happen in the bottom lane, though? That's where the real story is going to be told.
Yeah, one fort was lost, the wall was lost at the top too, and now they have to counterplay here. Junkrat is starting to make his way over, Leo is moving in. As the Punisher approaches, the wall is already gone. They have to try and get the keep to get a worthy trade out of it. And they definitely have the tools for it, especially since Medivh isn't even done with his baseline yet. That means that he's missing a lot here, but here comes the attack against X-Ray and the kill with the last rights. The first stack. Eye of Horus already being used. Junkrat is in as well. They're still trying to poke as much as they can, but that did definitely not work out for them the way that they intended to.
Okay, so what's the damage report? Half a keep? Not even half a keep there. Good pick there by the red team, and suddenly the experience starts to get a little bit tied up. About a half a level behind, but better than before. That's for sure. There is a lot of lane to clear up here in the middle and the top that Junkrat and Leo can work on, so we'll see the full results soon. But they got to kill, and that's what they want to do. And then they try to chase afterwards. If they can do that with Junkrat not having a Ripper Air available, I can see them finding a second one.
Yeah, that was actually, I mean, this rotation was great. This was a typical QuackNiix rotation right there. He's just like, screw it, we go top. We go top. And yeah, they get a lot out of it. That's actually brought them back. They have nearly closed the experience gap. Nice approach here in the attempt to steal something over there. I mean, as long as you get vision, you can also go for the fountain, right? So this is one of the things that they can try and do here. Take the fountain down, that would be good for them as well. But there's the control as they're trying to fight back. That's going to be a 5 versus 5. Leo moves in. They're actually zoning them out, and they steal it away.
Seemed like red team just wanted to find a pick. Had that been maybe an Ana over that wall, I'm really able to go through it, but Junkrat just a little bit too nifty to get away. 18.5 to just now 18. Very close all of a sudden. That defense in the bottom lane has certainly bought enough time here for Team QuackNiix. Try and turn this around. How many stacks does Last Right have? It has 1. Okay, so not too crazy on the cooldown reduction.
I mean, we are looking at the damage, and it's 15,000 for Medivh and for Greymane, and on the other side you have 25,000 for Junkrat and 32,000 for Sergeant Hammer. So it's really the coordinated damage that is missing a little bit for the red team, and I think Last Rites, bullet into Last Rites, the combo is there. I mean, it's really there, but they are lacking a bit the poke that we see through Sergeant Hammer and through Junkrat. So again, quick pause here. I guess that we're going to have problems on Ultralisk, just small ones, so nothing really too crazy yet. He didn't drop yet, but probably experiencing at least some lags for now. But yeah, top lane, that's where the next shrine actually spawns. And there is still a lead for Team Hasu, but I gotta admit, taking the fort down at the top was a big step for Team QuackNiix that helped them.
Good news also in the top right corner where that fort was going to be mentioned. Although there is not a well, there is retreat too, so they can play a little bit more bold with their portal movement and playing around that Curse Bullet Last Rites combo you were talking about. We're waiting here for Ultra to get his internet back and moving once again. I don't know, man. If you rewinded this 3 minutes ago, I would have called Blue Team had it. But that small play in the bottom right shows me that I have some fate here in QuackNiix and crew. They can make it happen. Just gotta find the target one more time. I feel like one more example of what we just saw could be the linchpin for them to be able to get a Punisher and just run it down the lane. Yeah,
it was a rotation topside, getting the fort, and then making the play at the bottom of the map, and that really helps them. And now you're in a position all of a sudden where it's still a lead for the blue team, but you just imagine one good combo with a ley line setup, for example, catch them one time. And all of a sudden, the entire momentum shifts and Team QuackNiix is ahead. So they've brought themselves into range, into reach where they can just simply hold on and hope for a good play. And if it happens, then it's fantastic. Of course, if they lose a big team fight, then the blue team can try and move to the bottom of the map, aim for the keep, finish what they started earlier. And we shouldn't really have a talent advantage on the next objective. Level 19 is there any second now for Team Hasu, but 20? Shrine should be announced soon. I don't think they can get 20, but, well, maybe I'm wrong. There's 2 lanes at the top. There's a lot of waves coming in. They might just get that 20 talent, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of this combo that you've been talking about, there's one particular character that we're going to be looking at for the blue team to make sure that combo does not happen. Of course, it's Banana there. He has the Sleep Dart that we already know about, but also the 16 talent picked up at Active Reload, which gives you 3 charges of Healing Dart. If you can identify the targets that be focused down, whether it be the Curse Bite in the last rites, like it's been on Johanna so far, you can provide 3 quick charges of healing to that target to make sure they don't get picked off. Then afterwards, it's an Eye of Horus, and you can just clean up the entire fight and turn it around. So Banana, who has already been spectacular on Ana, is going to be someone that we have to keep an eye on for these combos.
They collapse on Leon, they take him down. There's the combo down here. Max Passion goes down, and now the Shrine gets announced. That was a perfect kill from Team QuackNiix. That one was important. That one was really important. But it's Leo. Leo's gonna spawn on point, and that will be just in time to make this happen. But it's experience. It's quite a bit of experience that they got through it, so it's gonna be 20 versus 20.
I always love the phrase, but it's Leo. It always makes it a little okay. 20 is about to connect here. And this might be the fight that decides the game. I know it doesn't look like it on the forts and whatnot, but this is a very tense moment. The bottom lane could be opened up here for the blue team if they win this decisively. And at the same time, the red team needs the first Punisher of the game here to be able to push in and try and grab this keep. So let's see what happens as Leo is about to spawn.
There's the 20. They're collapsing on Hasu. Pushed back already. Nothing happening over here. Good sleep darts too. There's the buried alive, but Jojo already had the trade through. She already had it, but she gets locked down. There's the ley line and hits everybody. Jojo, the indestructible, it procs. Ana needs the heals. Another portal into the back line, and X-Ray is dead.
And he's got the last rights too. Boom, there it is. That's 2 picked off. Team QuackNiix has done it. They've been able to grab a couple kills, so now they can turn around and turn their attention to the Punisher, the Leyline Seal, nailing them the engage they wanted to, and also shutting down Ana, which allowed for Johanna to be focused.
Remind me again, did we ever cast the best of 7 that didn't go the full distance?
Never.
I think
Never, man.
Not even in the Nations Cup, right? I mean,
nope.
is this the blessing?
Everyone talks about a caster curse, but what if you add casters to it and then add the word blessing? Is that a thing?
It definitely is now. It definitely is now. If this ends up with a 7th map, then it definitely is. I mean, holy hell. 4 kills against 4, 20 versus 20. And they opened up the top lane already early. The entire wall is gone. They're going to get this keep for sure. Bot lane on the other hand. I like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. Junkrat is prepping it. He has catapults there, also on top of Merc Camps, which will protect those catapults, so they will stay alive longer if no one clears them up. But knowing QuackNiix, he's very good at calling just go core. He never lets situations like this throw him off. Leo is back, being a spooky ghost, moving forward here. Johanna gets the jump, and here we go.
You know they want to go core, but it's difficult against this core too. Those freeze things are insane. They're gonna get the keep, but they try to get it low already. And bot lane, if that keep falls, if it's just trading keeps, that would be a big loss for QuackNiix and his boys. They need a bit more momentum out of this, but it's tricky. And the bot lane is falling. That bot lane is not going to be defended, guys. It's actually even. It's even, despite the objective. Keep lost on each side now, and still a fort advantage for the blue team. So this was not as bad as expected for Team HasuObs.
Both teams looking into a mirror. Keep down for both sides, 21 to 21, 4 kills to 4 kills, 100% on core plus armor. It is a very intense situation, but a very close situation for both. But here's where things get really, really, really annoying. With Medivh being in the game, the red team, QuackNiix, has full idea of what exactly the blue team is at when it comes to knowledge and knowing where everyone is. So they can get the engagements they want based on what Medivh sees. So everything that Team HasuObs has to do here is going to be done under the watchful eye of this bird. So they got to make sure that they're playing lights out and they never get caught out.
Top lane, everybody has to pay attention now to the catapults. With 20 minutes in, we're starting to really reach a part of the game where you all of a sudden have to worry about the minions. So that's why Junkrat is there. And he has the mobility too. Next objective is going to spawn in the middle. And honestly, the objective spawn, bot lane, sorry, the objective spawn is so much better for Team QuackNiix.
Oof. Try to go for a root catch. HasuObs. A little too smart for that. Able to grab a couple of mines, scout them out. Junkrat pushes back the catapults as you were mentioning. A couple of stray portals being thrown down for funsies, but not meaning too much. It seems like the next major fight is going to be around this Punisher. As QuackNiix steps up to the top left with 3. Malthael also shows in the bottom, so the blue team thinks, okay, there's a Medivh here, there's a Malthael floating around, the entire team must be in that bush. And Greymane is taking this opportunity to actually grab the camps to the top left.
Yeah, if they grab the top left right now, even if they, I mean, they should set it up as a trap, but the problem is really that once we are seeing the fight happen at the bottom of the map and there's no shaman camp for Team HasuObs, for example, all that QuackNiix has to do is time the top right and then let the top lane push with the catapult.
Oh,
Leo's not going for it. They're stealing it away, and now the top right camp is going to have such a huge impact later on. You have catapults already spawning with every single minion wave for Team QuackNiix. The fort hasn't been annihilated topside, which means no catapults at all for Hasu in that lane, and the shrine spawns on the other side of the map. This is a really, really dangerous setup for the next objective for Team Blue.
luckily they have really good wave clear between Leoric and Junkrat, but you're right, it's still an issue. It does pull away from where Sergeant Hammer wants to be. It pulls away from the entire idea of defending that objective. Malthael gets that camp to the top right. He'll be activating around the 15 to 10 second mark, which will offer to push, as you were mentioning. All the dominoes have been laid out, but the question is, who's playing checkers?
Yeah, I mean, right now this is dangerous. Camp is taken, pushes in with the catapult. Honestly, blue team needs to get a kill quickly. They are under pressure now. The longer the fight lasts, the more the top lane is pushing. We're 21, 22 minutes in. Yeah, you might get something out of it. I mean, it's only one catapult so far, but the second one is already underway. So you're definitely a bit on a timer here. And they're already pushing for it immediately. They need to be careful, though, because that Entomb could become... I mean, the Entomb has to hit. If the Entomb doesn't hit, they are in trouble.
13 to 13, Arcane Punisher up for both of our teams, fighting tooth and nail for it. Sergeant Hammer shelling away, EGC controlling space as much as he can. Keep an eye on Banana. Banana is the linchpin for this blue team. Will he get caught? There's a combo. Knockback plus the shield, and here we go!
The portal was set up already. Leyline is out, and the core on the left side is about to get attacked here. They try to go for Abla. Portal is out. The shield, he's gonna die. He's gonna die, but he's going to come back. Nobody can stop death. Greymane is going topside. QuackNiix is trying to backdoor. QuackNiix is trying to backdoor. The core is losing the shields, and Quack is going for it. Arcane Punisher is taken. They're already falling back, but Greymane is on it. In it to win it right now. Catapults are in. QuackNiix making the play. Junkrat is moving in. Stukov is dead. Quack is low, and they're gonna get him. He's not gonna make it happen. 24% on the core. The bot lane is pushing right now, but they're still making the move. They're still trying to get it.
As well. Malthael's in the core, but Malthael does no damage to the core. He literally does negative damage to the core. He can't do it. It has to be Medivh, but Medivh has been zoned out. He's pushed away. He gets out of force. 5%.
Oh my god, 5%! And on the other side, he's going for the Entomb. He's breaking through it. They've done it, Tim. They've done it. Team HasuObs is the champion. 5% were missing. They couldn't make it happen. And HasuObs, they crown themselves the champion of the in-house league. What a grand final. GG.